Face front, true believers. This is Modular Media's No Prize Podcast. I am your host, Boingo Rider, and with me, as always, in the bullpen,
representing the shut up. I don't have a problem. Shut up. I can quit anytime I want. Be quiet. You don't know me. You don't control me. Shut up. Competition. The vacuuminator is here.
That's a very nice landfill vac.
I prefer to think of it as more of a petroleum retirement home, sir.
Hello, everybody. This is No Price Podcast. We talk comics, we talk movies, we talk merchandise, we talk a lot of things. But, you know, there's one thing we haven't been talking about recently, and that is current production in movie news. Because, well, we are good individuals who wanted to support the actors, and one of the requests that they made during the actors' strike was basically, hey, don't promo shit, because that's part of the thing we're trying to be compensated for.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, the writer's strike, the actor's strike is over. The writer's strike is...
Why are the Go-Oners here? They're Japanese.
Well, because I wanted someone celebrating, and I was like, oh, that's just a quick gif I can find.
Okay.
I just wanted a celebration gif, and I was like, yeah, cool, sure. The Screen Actors Guild has, as it is right now, it's gotten through the second step of the three-step process of becoming ratified.
Yeah. And we have a lot of news about the developing story that is the strikes being over. I don't know if Boingo wants to go to that now.
No, we'll go with that now, but it's just more of a... I wanted to start with the celebration gif.
Yeah, because this is exciting. It's happy. It's...
Yeah.
What was that? 4 or 5 months of sitting around waiting for CEOs to get off their bullshit?
Yeah. I think isn't this the longest actors strike period?
I feel like somebody said that a couple weeks ago, yeah.
And I think this was one of the longer writers' strike as well. But hey, writers have gotten what they want. Actors have so far have said that they gotten what they want. That's the thing we need to talk about in a minute. But first up from Culture Crave, SAG and Studios officially reached a tentative deal on a new 3-year contract. That's the big thing. It's 3 years.
Yeah, this was this Friday or Thursday night?
That's November 8th. Today's the 12th. Math.
Wednesday night. Okay, longer than I thought.
Yeah. But they reached a deal. Discussing films will officially end at 12:01 a.m. p.m. tomorrow. That meaning the 9th. The agreement sets next goes to SAG-AFTRA National Board for approval, and then ratification and vote by SAG members. So far, it has gone through the top leadership and the National Board. Now it's just SAG members need to vote on it. So, same thing happened with the Writers Guild. It's just that's how these things work. SAG-AFTRA says that a new deal valued at $1 billion includes streaming and participation bonus, above pattern minimum compensation increase, substantial increase for pension and health caps, pay increase for background actors, contract provisions protecting diverse communities, major provisions in consent and compensation for AI.
Sounds good to me.
Hey, Aki Bussy.
Oh, give me that bussy, Aki. You know that's what I want. That's what I'm here for. That's what I come to the No Prize Podcast every week for. Oh, that's what the Vacuuminator is famous for. Vacuuminator, famous bussy hound.
SAG has negotiated committee member Kevin E. West says there were tears of exhilaration and joy in the room as their contract was approved. People have put so much of themselves. The toll it takes is real, and the level of emotion is impossible to overstate, as Sean Astin. Yeah, this has been a big, tough deal. It's been a lot of people not being able to work, not being able to provide for themselves and everything. And it's just like, no, I deserve more. And a bunch of rich assholes not wanting to budge and just finally going like, fine, we won't tear down the rec center.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good for them.
SAG, National Board, has voted to approve in favor of 86%. Actors now just have to ratify it. It's just, that means every member has to vote yes or no. So, I have a feeling it's probably going to stay similar Because that's what happened to writers. It was like 96 for writers on the national. I think it was like 98 when it went to standard members, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I don't know. SAG has secured informed consent and fair compensation required for the creation and use of digital replicas for performers and background actors. For an employment-based digital replica, actors will be paid the equivalent to the payment if they did the work themselves. The contract assures background actors are actually hired and not replaced by AI, adding that no digital replica can be used to evade payment of a background actor. Basically, it's you can use AI, pay them as if they were just working regularly.
Mm-hmm. It's essentially Harlan Ellison's famous interview where he goes like, "Oh yeah, you guys can reuse that interview I did years ago for that show. All you gotta do is pay me." But everybody else is just letting us reuse it for free. Well, everybody else might be a schmuck, but I'm not.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Good.
I don't think this is going to stop studios from doing that entirely, because I think there's also like, in their mind, they'll probably also be like, okay, well, we don't have to pay for catering or for hair and makeup or for wranglers for those people, so it's still saving us money, but it will at least ensure that the actors still get the compensation they need.
Yep. And here's the thing, all those people, the wranglers, the caterers, all those guys, their union is in contract negotiations next year. So there is all of that. And SAG have to secure the following for on-set work. Sets must have proper hair and makeup services for all performers, including those with diverse and textured hair and complexions. That's a good thing.
That's really cool to hear.
But I've been hearing a lot of actors go like, they weren't prepared for me, especially like black women, variety of just races and people just going like they weren't prepared for my things, so I always have to bring my own makeup and do it myself. Which is like, that's not your job. That's not what you're being there to being paid for. So the fact that they're securing that, good. Requirements for intimacy coordinations present for scenes involving nudity and simulated sex, which was a thing that was, how to best put it? It was an industry like trend of like, you have these.
Sorry. But it wasn't a requirement, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't a requirement. Now it is a requirement.
Yeah, which is good because I think it's going to cut down on a lot of Me Too kind of incidents.
It's going to cut down on some things, but maybe.
Yeah.
A lot of that doesn't happen in front of the camera. That stuff happens behind the scenes.
That's true.
And everything.
But still, every little bit helps.
Yeah, but a lot of great provisions, and so far, like, everything else seems to be up and up. Hey, we were just talking about all the things SAG got with their...
Buster's here, and Buster said, yo, Buster confirmed for G.I. Joe fan. Buster said, yo is a G.I. Joe thing. Way to go, Buster!
Oh my god, okay. Hey everybody, you just got foreshadowed for one of the comic reviews we're gonna do later. That's called foreshadowing, and it's a cinematic technique. But SAG has officially done all the things, and we're gonna talk about all the shoots starting back up again when we get to the news section. But you know what happened after this? Go.
We're about to talk about shit again, and we've got unfinished business. We got a little stuff in that we had to leave off in the middle of, and it's not Buster busting all over Modular Media, although that is the title of Buster's new mixtape, Aki.
So let's talk about what is no longer struck content. Secret Invasion ended right after the strikes began. Strike. Yeah. So we
were like 2 episodes away when the strikes happened, right?
So we never got to finish talking about this, so we can just finish talking. Just to recap, what were your initial thoughts before the strike happened, and then we'll talk about the finale.
So I think with Secret Invasion, the big thing we kept saying was like, the intro fucking sucks and is stupid. Everybody could agree on that. Yep. The plotline was a bit iffy, but it wasn't like the worst thing we'd ever seen. And every actor was busting their ass all over that screen. They were given really good performances of material that was good to okay. And I think that's kind of where we stood on most everything at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah, and I think I was a little bit more enthusiastic in it than you were. Just more because I generally like MCU stuff a little bit more than you.
Also, we're not secretly invading these nuts, Buster. That's rape.
We're actively consenting these nuts.
Yeah, you'll always consent to the nuts. You gotta consent. There's gotta be proper consent at every level. You
This
gotta
is why you need
consent.
intimacy coordinators.
Yeah, you gotta have somebody who says yes, shirt off, that's fine, pants off, that's fine, undies off, that's fine, nuts and dong out, that is fine. We need that signed off on in order to make good things happen.
Bruh, lol. Yeah, bruh. That's what we are, bruhs. So let's get into what is ultimately a big controversial thing is how this whole thing wrapped up.
All right, fuck it. I'm in the camp that it shit the bed. I hated the last episode.
I'm in the camp that it did not nail its execution, but I understand what it was going for and I appreciate it.
I feel like I would be in that camp were it not for the way they kind of throw out the big final confrontation.
That's
Because,
ultimately why I think it what I think it was trying to succeed at. Because ultimately, to me, that whole bit was Nick Fury centering on what he is. Nick Fury has never been Iron Man in the front lines fighting the battle. Nick Fury has always been in the background getting the shit work done that needed to get done while he let the superpowered people deal with the superpowered threats. And this was and that was Nick Fury going, I have been putting myself in danger because I had an emotional connection to this. I need to step back and do what I'm good at.
true, but also, like, I feel like the whole point of the series was Nick being called into question for having done that and needing to face up to this demon from his past that had come out into nowhere. And by sending somebody else to do that, disguised at him, it kind of felt like him and the story by extension were sidestepping the issue. And it made me not like the character as
That's
much
what
as I used to.
but that's what I say when like I understand what it's trying to execute with the character and I agree that it misstepped in certain ways.
Mhm.
Like I can see what they're trying to do and go like, okay, cool, you just covered it in shit, but everyone else is just seeing the shit.
If
I
that whole final confrontation had actually been Nick and he had made it out of there alive, like just have what's his face's daughter whose name I can't remember. I don't remember anyone except fucking Nick and yeah, I just remember that Nick and Rhodey were in the show. I don't remember any of the new characters' names. Oh, that guy was Gravik. That was his name. And Talos. Okay, they're coming back to me now. They're coming
yeah.
back.
It's been a while since we watched it.
Yeah, if they had it be that Nick actually went and had the final confrontation, and then Talos's daughter comes out and pulls his butt out of the fire, and then he's like, "All right, that's dealt with. I'm fucking done now. I'm going to space. Bye." That would have worked way better.
What
The
I
fact
think would
that
have worked better is because again, I like the idea of Nick Fury going like, I am not a superhero. I need to do Nick Fury shit.
mm,
Like that's the thing I think I appreciate. The show is boring, that it's unmemorable. No, we just have piss poor memory. You're being ableist, Aki. I have ADHD. I'm
and I'm a
kidding.
fucking dumbass. Come on, Aki,
I'm
give me
joking.
some leeway here.
I,
You
I'm,
gotta
I'm
you gotta give the stupid boys who want to be big boys with big boys opinions a little bit of a leeway here when they haven't watched the material in a while. And I didn't forget Don Cheadle, Buster. I said Rhodey. I said it. Wind it back. Check the tape. I said Rhodey.
what I think would have been if we're just going real quick, like how would we have rewritten Secret Invasion? I think starting the finale the way it did with like her being there fighting the bad guy and Nick Fury going and saving the president works really well. I think they should have met up so he can go like, all right, cool. I've dealt with the Nick Fury stuff. Now to deal with the Nick Fury stuff. You know, I've dealt with the super spy thing and realized like I'm a super spy and I don't need to be the superhero saving the day. That's other people's job. Now it's time for me to own up to my flaws of humanity and deal with that. Like, I think
Mhm.
that's like, have your cake, eat it too, because why else bake a cake if you're not going to eat it?
Armor
Yeah,
Wars is still going to happen. Last I heard, it's still being planned as a movie, and everybody was pretty excited about it. But that was all before the strikes. I haven't heard any updates about it post strike, but
yeah.
I imagine the plans are still moving forward.
Right now, the things we're focusing on post strike are Deadpool 3, because it was already in filming,
Mhm.
um, marketing Marvels,
Yeah. Which, by the way, we should say all of our Secret Invasion takes come without having seen the Marvels. The Marvels is out. It came out 2 days ago. We're poor and we haven't had time to get to a theater.
yeah.
So.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Um, where? There we go. No spoilers for the Marvels. There we go. We got. There we go.
Yeah. No, misogyny in the chat, please.
No misogyny. We are feminists. We let women punch us in the face.
Yeah.
But I like that's what I'm saying. Like, I can see what they were trying to aim for with the story, and I like what they I like I like the thought they had in the writers' room more than what we got on the screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, like, I think a big thing about this show is just like it's a weird thing to go to and ask casual viewers to get into and accept when the scrolls were barely set up and the only way they were set up was in a prequel movie that was kind of panned to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, I was talking about what things Marvel's focusing on. Deadpool 3, Blade, Fantastic Four seem to be the
Yeah.
big things they're trying to focus on right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, Secret Invasion, I'd say it's a C. It is a thing that you can skip.
Definitely.
But if you want to see Samuel L. Jackson pull off some beautiful monologues, just give it a skim through.
Yeah, Sam Jackson and Rhodey, really, or Rhodey, famous actor Rhodey, a well-known Marvel actor, man, Rhodey. Fucking Don Cheadle and Sam Jackson, they have some fantastic scenes
Mhm.
together, and there's even just like some great solo scenes for Sam Jackson in this. This was
Um,
really like,
oh, the whole conversation with his wife, beautiful.
yeah, every episode has like has one scene in it that is just Marvel Studios saying like, "Hey, thanks for being a huge part of our brand for the last like 15 years, Sam Jackson."
Yeah, and again, that's why I think the ending was trying to go of like he is not, he's not Tony Stark, he's not Captain America, he's Nick Fury, he's complicated, fucking bastard of an individual, and he will ignore his figurative son in order to get the job done, and that's kind of what you admire about him. And I agree, he should have confronted and all that kind of stuff, but like, again, I like what the writers had idea. I like the post-it note in the writers room of that idea.
Fair enough.
I think if you were able to give this a second draft as a show, tighten it up some and work on that ending, which they weren't able to do because Chapek was like, "No, get this shit out here," you know.
Yeah.
Um, I am of the firm belief that all the problems with Marvel has been much more from management than creative.
The Captain Marvel scrolls were kind of jokes. Yeah, that's true. I remember Buster. Remember Boingo, you remember that famous scene in the Marvels where Talos did stand up, where Talos turned into Bill Burr and just started doing wow bang boom I hate women jokes for 20 minutes and then Carol punched him in the face. It was great. It was amazing. It was one of my favorite moments in all of cinema.
Yeah, Buster, you're this very much this one this one feels like a victim of Rush for Disney Plus. Miss Marvel, I feel like, is also a victim of the rush for Disney Plus.
Mhm.
Moon Knight in places, though it kind of was able to escape some of that.
Yeah. The rush for Disney Plus also sounds like a great like takedown documentary. Somebody make that.
I mean, Defunct Land probably already has the draft script.
Yeah.
How you feel about Secret Invasion is how I feel about Love and Thunder. Are you talking Aki? Are you talking about Vac's opinion or my opinion on on Secret Invasion? Because we have two
Yeah,
different opinions.
because like I also love Love and Thunder.
I also really enjoy Love and Thunder.
I have the fucking inverse opinion from everybody about the YTE movies, where I'm like, Ragnarok really wasn't my jam, man. I didn't like that at all. But Love and Thunder, I was just like, oh,
Oh.
oh, ideas. Yes, okay. Yeah.
Oh, both.
Ooh.
So it's like, okay, Love and Thunder, you have like the idea behind it, but you can understand its flaws. I'm the same thing with Love and Thunder. I understand what they were trying to do. They just weren't able to nail it perfectly because
Yeah.
the whole point was that the whole reason why it was full of comedy and full of jokes is the gods are arrogant. That's the point.
There's also just the fact of like the Gore the God Butcher is the first time I've ever seen representation in media as an atheist.
Yeah. But hey, Secret Invasion ended a while ago, and we just wanted to get our final thoughts on the show out there so they were on record. But you know what just finished the week the SAG strike ended?
The fucking day before, they grabbed Tom Hiddleston and Heike Kwan, threw bags over their heads, and just threw them out onto Jimmy Kimmel Live as soon as the strikes ended to promote this shit. Loki season 2, boys and girls.
Loki season 2. Okay, real quick, I just gotta say, I absolutely love this. This is my comic book loving bullshit, you know. We'll talk about the anti-Semitic clock in a minute.
Anti-Semitic clock. Oh no! You remember when Miss Minutes said "kill all the Jews"? That was the oh my god! My jaw went. Bah!
We'll talk about the drama in a moment. This is my I love weird, cosmic, heady comic books, and this is that this is like Al Ewing, Jonathan Hickman ass comic book writing.
And I think that's part of why it took until the penultimate episode for me to warm up to it. I spent a lot of this going like, oh holy crap, they lost the sauce. This has gotten too heady. I can't latch on to anything here. And then I saw Mobius in his regular life on a jet ski, and I was like, my boy!
You get the emotional core of what they're going for now.
Yeah.
About the show is McDonald's promo. Yeah, McDonald's.
Yeah, they pushed the McDonald's promo so damn hard, and it's in there for like one scene.
It is a reoccurring motif. That's where they find Sylvie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing we need to talk about. They fucking dropped the Sylvie romance plot.
Yeah, they dropped that like a fucking stone.
Because like everyone was just like, "Hey, isn't this a little weird?" And they're like, "Fuck, it is a little weird." Okay, cool. We're just dropping it, and they are just very unhealthily good friends.
I will say this whole season was very fun to observe as a normal person on Tumblr, because just everyone was so upset at this and called it the worst thing ever because it refused to do any shippy stuff with Loki at all.
Yeah. Favorite part of season 1, I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's very much people don't like this, but they like these. Let's focus on the things that they like.
I legit saw people getting upset that he didn't have like many cute moments with Mobius, many cute moments with Sylvie. There were people who were like, "Oh, look at how cute he is with Ouroboros. Him and Ouroboros, I ship them." And then the last episode just froze that the fuck out.
Oh yeah, beautiful. But that's the point. That's the tragedy of it all thing, because we'll just talk about spoilers. Spoiling the whole thing. It ends with Loki being. They don't say it directly, but he's kind of like one part the God of Stories, one part Avengers Prime Loki.
Yeah, he ascends properly.
Yeah.
Morbius did not morball over the place. His morbology was contained. He was put in one of those little cubes, and they squished him up, and then they drank his morb juice, and they used that to save the day in the last episode. Big spoiler there.
But Mobius did mob all over the place. He just went.
Yeah,
wow,
there was a lot of mobbing.
Wow.
So many wows. So much pie. Oh my god, the pie jokes this season. I love them.
I love the comedy this season. It feels a lot more pointed of what they wanted to go get do.
Man, like old take, but High K Kwan, man's got chops. Man
Oh,
did really good dramatic acting and really good comedy acting in
oh
this
yeah,
season.
he nailed it. Also, I'm pretty sure there is a reference to Indiana Jones in one of the shots of his hat
Yeah.
from Temple of Doom that he wore at his short round. It's just in the
Mm-hmm.
background, and I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Also, just like something about the real world version of him being a writer gave me vibes of like harkening back to those kinds of characters.
Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? Vac.
No, I have been
I
meaning to. I have not gotten to it yet.
I also have been meaning to, and I haven't gotten to it yet. So
Yeah.
we'll see it eventually.
I know a lot of the spoilers. I know a lot of the big iconic moments. It's one of those movies that it was just inescapable for a while.
Yeah, but Loki. A lot of cool stuff. Ouroboros, we've talked about. He's a fun
Mhm.
character. Great. Part of me wishes we had more of him,
A
but
little
also
bit,
like
yeah.
part
I
of me
hope
like we
like
got
they came out and said after the finale aired that they don't have plans for a third season, and Tom Hiddleston has basically said without outright saying that he's retiring from the role. I want to see Ouroboros come back in something. I think they could do
I
that.
could see Ouroboros coming back. Um, and with all the things and all the we'll talk about this in a moment, but we got to talk about Jonathan Majors because
Yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
he does a really good job. He's good at his job. He's a good
Yeah,
actor.
yeah. He's a good, like what do you want us to say? Man's good at his job.
Victor
And,
Timely was a
and
great.
it's just a good thing his job is not beating women.
um, hey, innocent until proven guilty. Come on.
Hmm. I mean, there's probably some very satisfying scenes for the people who are still righteously mad at him with fucking Miss Minutes trying to serial kill him.
Yeah. But Victor Timely was a fun character to see. Just really neat.
Is that based on anything? Is that an actual Kang persona? I hadn't heard of it
Yes,
before. Okay, okay.
that is an actual Kang persona.
All right. That's that's one of Kang's many my OC do not steals.
That's one thing I will say. Like we talked about this off mic, but if Loki season 2 had come out before Quantumania, it would have made Quantumania feel 10 times better.
Yeah, they should have struck those and reversed them.
Wanted to see Creed 3. Yeah, Jonathan Majors is gonna be a weird situation for a little bit.
Yeah.
And until we get that full guilty non guilty verdict.
Yeah. Just gotta wait. Just gotta wait and see.
Um,
Like how the internet totally didn't about Tara Strong. Do you want to tell me what the hell Tara Strong actually said? Because all I've heard is lol anti-Semitic clock.
okay, so here's the thing: Tara Strong is a Jewish woman.
Uh-huh.
And if you are not aware of the current global political situation dealing with involving the country of Israel and the people of Palestine, it's wrapped up in that.
Hmm.
She did a Zionism, if you know what that means.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Ooh. Way to go, world's most famous horny cougar. Good for
yeah.
you.
So
Oh
people
man.
have been just like just going like, "Oh, fuck you, Tara," you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been a low key "fuck you, Tara" kind of guy. I didn't like Tara Strong before it was cool, but yeah, that's not great. That's not no, fuck her. No, take that back, please.
Yeah,
Say good things, actor lady. I would appreciate that.
yeah. But here's the thing: it's not the end of the world. Let me rephrase
Yeah,
that. It sucks that
I,
people are like that for this show specifically. It's not the end of the world.
hmm. And also, like, it doesn't change the fact that, like, with Jonathan Majors, she does a really good job in this show.
Yeah,
Back when she first showed up in season one, and I still hold to this opinion, this is the best performance she's given in anything in years.
yeah.
Like,
Um, Mobius is great in this show.
Oh, he's wonderful.
He is
He's
probably one of the best parts of this season.
when you find out he is just the most regular guy. Like his whole character as like, no, I don't care about my life on the timeline. I just want to get my job done. Like it all snaps into place and it's like, ooh, best boy. Best boy right here. Way to go, Owen Wilson. You got cast as best boy finally.
Yeah. He's just a normal dude. Yeah, he's just normal man.
Normal man.
Um uh Also the woman, the B-15.
Yeah, B-15.
She's also like a canonical Marvel character in the comics.
Yeah. She was pretty good, though she did have probably my most aggravating moments of the whole season, which is that moment where they're like looking at the screen in like the TVA bridge or whatever it is, and all the timelines are crumbling, and she just yells, "Those are people!"
Yeah.
Like, first of all, it was not a great line delivery. Second of all, I'm like, oh, this is what people mean when they say like when you do multiverse stuff, it just becomes so it becomes so vast it's hard to care. Because it's like in that usually I'm somebody who is like, no, going to a multiverse raises the stakes and it puts you on the edge of your seats because now there's so many lives at stake. But in that moment I was like, yeah, I kinda get the idea of just like, yeah, it doesn't process when it's just numbers on a screen.
Yeah, that's why when you do multiverse, in my opinion, you shouldn't focus on number of people. You should focus on reality. It's
Yeah,
not that you focus on reality will crumble, which is what the later half of the season really focused on.
yeah, actually I really like the effect they did to portray reality crumbling.
All the spaghettification. Oh,
Mhm.
they should have gotten Jared Leto to reprise his role as Morbius. That way you could say Mobius and Morbius on screen together.
There's still time. There's still time. Morbius 2, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be the biggest movie of the summer of 2026.
Mobius just walks out of an orange door and just goes like, "Wow, vampire! Who'd have thought?" Yeah.
And then they do that.
Guy.
And then they do that have sex dance.
Erase this guy. Fuck him.
Cult leader. Wow.
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 You sent rats to people. That's kind of fucked up.
Wow, you're climbing the Empire State Building? That's amazing. Wow.
There's a lot of fun little bits. Like
when Doctor Who shows up.
Yeah, Zaniac.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, the Marvel version of the Doctor shows up.
Yeah.
For people
resembles nothing like the comics,
no, but it's a fun
that character, and it's nice. It's like, yeah, they were probably never going to do anything with that. It's more likely we'll get an actual BBC Doctor Who MCU crossover now than it is they were actually going to do anything with that character.
With Quinley, which is the character from the comics, who just shows up as like oh, hey, we got our
member of the TVA higher-ups.
Yeah. And portrayed like by a really cool woman. I don't know her name, but disabled in some way. She seemed cool and she'd had some dope lines.
Yeah.
This is also probably one of the best CGI a Marvel project has had in a while.
Yeah, nothing really looked all that hinky.
Nothing looked hinky, but also they nailed a visual aesthetic with it, and like it looks good.
Yeah, and I think part of that is just like everything felt so cohesive from the first season. All they had to do was build on it a little bit in a couple places.
Yeah, and especially with the ending, and just like, okay, let's talk about the end. The timeline is blowing up, and they're trying to fix it so the TVA can survive. And it turns out the timeline blowing up is part of how it works if the man in it, the one who remains dies. So Loki goes like, oh shit, none of this matters. None of what we've been doing matters. We gotta think about this a completely different way.
Yeah, we can't fix this the way we want to. I have to come up with a new way to fix it. And his new way of fixing it ends up being essentially becoming the god of stories.
Yeah, of him basically, because now he has full control over time, he just walks out and starts grabbing all the timelines and physically holding them together.
and he weaves them
into
into a new world tree.
a new Yggdrasil.
Mm-hmm.
The show
Which
seems
is
like the result of a plan and not have and taking their time with visual effects and not shitting
mm,
it out on Disney Plus on Rush. Yeah, it's almost as if that's the problem with Marvel right now that everyone keeps bitching and moaning about. It's like, yeah, no, they've had bad management telling them to rush out product.
yeah. Um, but yeah, no, it's a good solid ending. It makes sense for his character,
Mm-hmm.
especially the way he's been built in this show. And it sets up an interesting precedent for things moving forward.
Yep.
Um, like he essentially hinted that he's retiring from the role, but there's also a part of me that says, well, we could see him show up in Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars still.
I can totally see that. And you know what? We're dealing with time. Kang is a time traveler. You know what? Hashtag fuck it. Kang does a minor reboot, and so we can recast some of these characters. So we can, but recast them from a different timeline. And merge the timelines. So that way, Tom Hiddleston's Loki stuff still matters and it still exists. But we also have a
Yeah.
brand new young Loki that we can tell new stories with.
Yeah, we can get Timothy Chalamet playing young Loki.
Oh,
Let's make it happen,
He'd be great
everybody.
at that. But like,
Um,
Tony Stark's death still matters. That all happened, but now we're merged with a new universe with a new Tony Stark.
yeah. Um,
Basically, we make a bunch of Miles Moraleses in 616.
yeah. So I gotta ask, I gotta get to a little elephant in the room here that I feel
Aw.
like everybody has probably been waiting the whole podcast for at this point.
Yeah.
Are you happy now? Are you happy that they said your magic numbers?
Uh, I am more happy that they said adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, that's the thing. They didn't show what timeline it was. They just said there's something going on in a 616 adjacent timeline.
yeah,
And I wonder if that means the MCU is now going to be classified as 616 dash adjacent.
I have made peace with this somewhat because I think I figured out how this is all headcanon. But sometimes headcanon matters to an individual, especially when the reason I'm so hung up on this is like I want to respect the writers and the artists of the original comics. That's my big thing. 616 is the main comic stuff.
Mhm.
199999 is the name of the universe, but within that universe is a miniature multiverse, similar to how the DC universe works within the Marvel multiverse. There
Hmm.
is a precedent for it. There is a number that is just this is where DC is, but within that little area is the DC multiverse. And it's all made up fiction bullshit, so it doesn't matter.
The subsection.
Yeah, it's a subsection. So
Hmm.
19999 is MCU subsection, and within that, there is a 616 main universe that is where you would enter in if you were in the grand Marvel multiverse and jump in.
Hmm. Secret Wars 2015, but MCU. Yeah, I mean that's what we've been theorizing the Secret Wars movie is going to be for a long time now, since that title got revealed.
Because that's
Really.
also been a complaint some people have been having with a lot of the actors going like, you know what, I'm happy with the character and I'm done. Not that we begrudge
Having Timothy and Tom Hiddleston on screen together will be the whitest thing to ever happen on screen that doesn't involve white supremacy. Oh my god, Aki.
You're not wrong. But like I'm pretty sure neither of us begrudge any actor going like I feel like I've done enough with the character and I would like to stop.
Oh yeah,
Not, but like the character keeps going on in the comics.
Mhm.
And like you want to see Captain America meet the Fantastic Four. You want to see Tony Stark argue with Reed Richards. But I don't need it to be Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
I would love to see another actor give a shot at the character.
Mhm.
You know?
Definitely.
So I think that something like I think a situation of like time slippy recappy kind of thing would work, and I would not mind seeing that.
Definitely. I'm definitely down for that. I mean, I'm one of those people who has been saying for years, like, yeah, Tony's death was a cool, impactful moment that was like a good end cap for that character. But also, they used to say all the time, like, we want to keep the MCU going forever. So whenever an actor wants to bow out, we're just going to James Bond it. So the fact that they didn't James Bond it kind of irks me.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I understand why they want to like I totally understand why they went the direction they went with for Black Panther because it's such a
Yeah.
cultural impact, it's such an emotional impact, real world and in the story. Yeah.
Hmm.
But like
Also, but then there's also like, I'm sorry, I love Chris Evans, but like any muscular white dude could be Captain America.
yeah.
They didn't need to give him that ending. Like
No.
fucking just call John Cena, see what's up.
There's a variety of things you could have done, but you know, it's a mixture of trying to be respectful to the actor, respectful to the story, and then we're the chuckle fucks going like, no, these stories can be infinite. We can just keep going forever.
Yeah.
But speaking of going on forever, something didn't, and it had an end. You watched all of Doom Patrol.
Yeah. So interesting tale with me and Doom Patrol. I watched the first season like shortly after it had wrapped back in the day when this was a DC Universe Infinite show. Remember that, everybody? And I really enjoyed the first season. But I didn't keep up with it. And then I heard it was in its final season, and I had HBO Max for other reasons. And I was like, yeah, okay, let's see if I can catch up in time for the final episode. So I watched seasons 2 through 4, I want to say is the final season. But I watched everything over the course of the last like 2 or 3 months. Um, and Doom Patrol is a really dang good show. It's one of the best adaptations of that whole era of DC Comics that Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol comes from. That kind of late 80s,
Vertigo.
90s, the Vertigo British invasion times.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a lot of characters from stuff in that era that crop up. They're not just pulling from stuff in the Doom Patrol books; they're pulling from other books of that time. But there's a lot of really good work with the lore. Every actor in this gives a really good performance. Like obviously, this is the thing that kind of famously revived Brendan Fraser's career. And he's great as Robot Man. I can't I don't remember most of the other actors by name. I apologize. But all really good interpretations of characters that like if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know much about the Doom Patrol going into this show. I kind of just knew them from their appearance in the Teen Titans cartoon. But this got me into Doom Patrol. This did what these shows are supposed to do. This got a layman like me to go like, okay, there's something to Doom Patrol. Let's keep an eye out on the comics. And like Buster just said in the chat, the most impressive thing with this show, crazily enough, is that it's kind of the best story about Cyborg I've ever fucking seen. And it's very smart about it too, because you gotta remember, this came right at the tail end of the era where DC and Warner Brothers were trying really hard to push Cyborg as a character, putting him on the Justice League and everything, to make it seem like the Justice League was more diverse.
When
Um,
Mr. Terrific is right fucking there.
yeah. Don't fucking remind me. But the thing about this show is you saw him on all the posters and the promotional material, and you were like, oh, Doom Patrol show, that's interesting. Why the fuck is Cyborg there? And the show starts up, and it literally within the first couple episodes, the Doom Patrol themselves go, Cyborg, why the fuck are you here? And they proceed to like ingratiate him into the cast and interweave his story with theirs. And there's a lot of really good storytelling about him as a character. At least one episode per season, I say, is like wholly dedicated to like the kind of trials and tribulations he goes through, as being essentially an allegory for people who live with prosthetics, with people who are amputees, who have been through traumatic incidents that have caused them to have a life-altering surgery. And it's really good, and it comes to a kind of beautiful ending. I really like where all the characters end up in the final episode. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I would say if you haven't yet, Even if you don't know anything about the Doom Patrol, this show is very worth checking out.
Apparently, Aki says it also took some things from the recent Gerard Way run as well.
Yeah, the character he invented appears in the last
Oh,
season.
the girl, the fictional
Space
woman.
Case.
Yeah, Space Case. Couldn't
Yeah.
remember. Does Milkman show up?
Milkman does not show up.
Oh, shame.
But yeah, there's some good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, it totally makes sense to take some from the Gerard Way run as well, because his run was heavily influenced by Grant Morrison.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there are two Doom Patrol runs that people know. It's Grant Morrison and Gerard Way.
I think it is an okay starting point, but I only read like the first few issues, so don't quote me on that.
I still to this day have not sat down and read it.
Well,
I remember when everybody was talking about
Aki's
it.
giving it it's a good starting point. All right, cool.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like I would enjoy it more if I went through and read the Grant Morrison run first, but that's just because I feel like I just want to read the Grant Morrison run.
And from what I've heard from people as I've gotten more and more into it over this year, Doom Patrol seems to be one of those books where it's like it was kind of just there for a while, and then at a certain point somebody made it into something, and since then every run has been good. Like it's kind of another Daredevil or Swamp Thing where it's like everybody knows Frank Miller's Daredevil is amazing and the current run is really good too, but also everything in between is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Same thing with Swamp Thing. Everybody really loves Alan Moore's Swamp Thing, and there hasn't been a current Swamp Thing book in a while, but back when there was, people were praising the shit out of it. But every Swamp Thing in between was great. Doom Patrol is kind of the same way.
Yeah. I just keep thinking about how Robot Man and Thing would really get along.
Oh, they would. Though, I don't know. Do you think Thing is like a watch your language kind of uncle?
No, he would be in front of kids.
Okay.
Like behind closed doors, he's going
with Robot Man. Half the comedy with Robot Man, because he does have some pathos to him, but he's also very much a comedic character in that it's just hearing Brendan Fraser say swears in ridiculous tones of voice.
Yeah, no, like the Thing behind closed doors, he stubs his toe, he's just like, fuck. But when kids are around, he's like, fiddlesticks. Yeah, ideally you read Grant Morrison's run before Gerard Way's, but you can just start with Way's and not lose much. Yeah. But I enjoy Grant Morrison's writing, so I'm just going like, I should probably read Grant Morrison.
Yeah, same here, honestly.
I mean, like, my favorite short story of all time is Coyote Gospel. I keep saying that.
Mm-hmm. Also, just a funny thing here. Michelle Gomez shows up in season 3, I think it is, and she carries over into season 4 as the villain from the comics Madame Rouge. Mm-hmm. I have no exposure to Madame Rouge as a comic book character, but the way they wrote her in this show, she's essentially just playing her character from Doctor Who again, and I have to wonder if that got her the part.
Also, Alan Tudyk's in it, isn't he like a big bad guy?
He's the villain of season 1, and then he doesn't show up again. They even make a joke in season 2 where the character he got trapped with, they go into the dimension where they trapped his character and that guy, and they're like, hey, have you seen Mr. Nobody? That's the character he plays. Have you seen Mr. Nobody? Where's he at? Weren't you two trapped in here together? And he's like, oh yeah, he got a role in some animated bullshit, and I haven't seen him since. And like a little graphic that says, please watch Harley Quinn comes up.
As you know, it's cute enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, Doom Patrol. Hey, let's keep this media trainer rolling. We also watched the new Avengers episode of Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, we're getting real close to that finale. We're properly in the end game with this show now because Kang is the final villain of season 2, and the whole plot of this episode is Kang goes, man, I'm not really being very effective, and things are kind of getting out of hand. And then the Council of Kang shows up and goes like, yeah, you're being a total bitch right now. You should do something about that. So he kills the Avengers. And then right before they die, Tony initiates a protocol to put together a new Avengers team to come and save their asses.
Yeah, literally, there is a cop named Bendis.
Yeah, that was so blatant, but also I kind of love that he doesn't actually look like Bendis. He looks like a fucking wrinkly old man, and I
Yeah,
found that
he's just
funny.
like, Officer, bend this down. I'm just like, yeah, you knew exactly what you were referencing with New Avengers, and like
Mhm.
Luke Cage is on the team. Spider
Well, I
Man
mean, the
is.
whole thing with this show is you get the feeling that it's people who grew up with Jack and Stan's stuff, and then they got the opportunity to make this show, and they were like, "Oh, okay, well, let's reread all that, and also, what's going on in comics right now? Oh, New Avengers. Okay, we can do something with this."
Bendy's nuts. Yeah.
Ooh.
Also, it's a little bit New Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because it's just kind of like here's all the side characters doing an adventure together. All the boys we've touched with, just about up to
Mhm.
this point. Had we seen Wolverine before, or is this just straight up here? Here's Wolverine and the X-Men Wolverine in this show for an episode.
Yeah, it's just Wolverine from Wolverine and the X Men shows up.
Hmm. I mean, it's fine. It's cool. I like this character design, and the voice actor did a decent job. I forgot to look up who it is.
It's not Dan Green.
No, I think it's like I think it's somebody I know. I'm gonna look it
I
up right
I'm pretty
now.
sure it's a D name. It's a name that starts with D. But yeah, no, you have three members of the New Fantastic Four with Spider Man, Wolverine, and Thing, and then you
It's
have
Steve Blum.
oh, it's Steve Bloom.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve. Uh,
Also, Child Kang is played by Phil Lamar.
oh, that's cool. And then you have New Avengers: Spider Man, Luke Cage, Wolverine.
Yeah, it's a solid enough little like throw characters together thing. You get a little bit of characterization for everybody, and then you get the standard, oh, we have to learn how to work together a little better. Okay, we're gonna do the thing now.
Yeah,
Um, it is very much what you'd expect, but it's still like I imagine for anybody who was watching the show at the time, it was just fun to see all these characters together in animation for the first time.
yeah. Also, Thing did a fastball special.
Yep, Fing does a fastball special. There's a great bit where like they show Spider-Man reacting to Wolverine killing a bunch of velociraptors.
Did you need to do that? Oh,
It's
that's
so
great.
good. Also, the little interaction Fing and Rhodey have is really cute.
Yeah,
Um, and then I would like the Iron Fist and Luke Cage segment if it wasn't for the fact that it's so obvious that voice actor has never read Japanese before in his life.
yeah. But I do appreciate the idea of like, oh, this guy, no, Iron Fist knows Japanese, and he tried to talk people down.
Yeah.
Overall, it's a good episode. It's a fun little thing,
Yeah.
and Spider Man gets a reserve member card.
Yeah. You almost feel like he probably would have had a bigger role had season 3 happened.
Yeah. And I also imagine no one else did because he was the only one trying that hard.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, Cap's had a little adventure with Spider Man before, so they know he's a good egg.
Yeah. But overall, good episode.
Yeah. So I liked it.
It's
Porky
good.
Pig.
That's all, folks.
Yeah. Now
Uh,
bend these nuts around your face for toys and news.
if Iron Fist spoke Mandarin wrong, then there would be a problem. Yeah,
Mm.
it'd be a lot less forgivable for Iron Fist to mess up Mandarin than Japanese. Like, I can go like, yeah, he wouldn't be great at Japanese, but he would know it.
That's true.
Wolverine is fluent in Japanese. Reading Grant Doom Patrol now is probably how the first episode just adapts the first issues. Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of the way with stuff that's really revered in adaptations these days. It tends to be
yeah,
pretty one to one.
yeah. But hey, we're opening up some news, and we'll just vamp and ramp for a moment.
We can vamp it up. We can vamp out. I can vamp about. I don't know. What do you want? What do you want to talk about, chat? What's going on in your life? How's everything going? You doing okay in school? You meet any nice girls yet?
Have you thought about grandchildren yet? I'm so lonely.
How's work going for you? The boss still an asshole?
You still drinking coffee?
What's what are your plans for next weekend? Huh? What's going on? What are you gonna
What's
do to
new,
have fun?
pussycat? Whoa, whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
whoa, whoa!
You cooking? Are you cooking or are you cooking?
Are you cooking? Are you cooking with gas? Are you cooking with mass? Are you cooking with the exponential concept of matter?
Are you working the microwave?
Do you know what a cast iron skillet is?
Oh man. Cast iron skill is fucking goat cooking material.
Yeah, love me some cast iron.
Uh how do you clean yours? How do you clean and maintain yours?
I kind of just let it do its thing.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Did you once you cook something in it, how do you get the cook bit stuff out?
just give it a little old soak, and then you rinse it off, and then you let it go.
All right. I
Yeah.
use a tiny bit of soap just to help
Tiny,
some of the grease get off,
yeah,
and then I
yeah,
put it back on the stovetop, dry it, and then I do like a coat of oil, like you're supposed to.
yeah.
Oh man.
I wish I knew electrolysis.
Dude, there's like the idea of
Gotta
like,
gotta go to school.
hey,
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 hey.
Macarena, aye. Dun, ding, 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 bum, ding, da, 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 da. You know that song's about a woman cheating, right?
Yep. I'm very aware.
Hey, guess what?
I too watched Todd in the Shadows.
Hey, guess what?
Yes.
Deadpool 3 is gonna resume. Are you gonna show up screen? There you go. Thank you.
Jeez.
Deadpool 3 is resuming filming before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because they were literally right in the middle of filming a major set piece when the strike started. So they're probably very eager to get back to work.
Yep. But hey, Deadpool's back on the table, folks. Uh,
Yeah.
Speaking of, we got some Deadpool news. Come up. Okay, nope. We're gonna have to go view this on
Oh my
Instagram.
god.
But Deadpool announces a dog pool showing up.
Yeah, little bit of news for everybody to celebrate getting back to work. Ryan Reynolds said, "Hey, here's a photo of Dogpool. Ain't she beautiful?"
Yeah, it's dog pool.
Yeah,
And this is not something new and made up. This is from the comics.
yeah. Because there was a period where Deadpool was so popular that he had like 6 books, and they were just coming up with all kinds of crazy versions of Deadpool. Look up Headpool sometime.
Oh yeah, from the canonical Marvel Zombies universe.
Mhm.
But yeah, Ryan Reynolds just posting that, going like, "Hey, look, dog pool."
Yeah.
New release schedules for MCU films.
Because
Deadpool.
every MCU thing got delayed just a bit.
Yep. Deadpool 3 is going to come out July 26th next year. Captain America 4 is February of the year after, 2025. Fantastic Four, 2025. Thunderbolts, 2025. And Blade, 2025. Hey, push Thunderbolts and Blade back to 2026, please, and thank you.
Yeah, might not be a bad idea.
No, it was right before
I
that.
think the period I'm referring to is a little bit before that.
Yep.
Like this would have been '09, early 2010s.
Yeah. Cool Deadpool getting the way it is. I would much prefer to see some of those movies pushed back.
Yeah, because there is a little bit of tension there. Though I don't think they're gonna fuck with Blade too much more because it's already
Yeah.
been delayed 3 times, and apparently, the star was ready to walk away from the project because of how frustrated he was getting with everything.
Yeah, it's understandable. What I can see though is maybe Captain America is already mostly done filming.
Yeah,
Same thing with Thunderbolts. They're mostly done, and they're basically starting Fantastic Four and Blade from scratch, like now, which makes sense for it to come out 2025.
I understand your methodology of Deadpool maybe being better as a winter movie buster, but also like it's the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. They
Yeah.
want that summer blockbuster vibe.
Be worth considering the current climate. I can totally see that.
Yeah,
It's a big thing.
I can't wait for Seth Rollins to talk about the situation in the Middle East.
Jesus Christ, he is racially ambiguous enough that they may think to do that. Oh. Just gotta clench your butthole a little bit.
Actually, you know what? Given the time frame that movie was written in, it's more likely that it's going to be an allegory for Ukraine.
Yeah, but overall, cool. We have some
Yeah,
dates. I definitely think some of those are going to be changing. I especially think Fantastic Four may change a little bit. I can see Fantastic Four
yeah.
being 2026
I mean, remember, Fantastic Four still isn't even cast.
officially announced. They may have they may have like a short list of these guys, these guys, these guys.
Yeah.
But there we go. Dates, 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 dates. Beyond the Spider Verse, we'll turn to voiceover recording now that SAG has strike has ended. Yeah, this movie ain't coming out till 2025.
Yeah, because from what I heard, behind the scenes status on it was mostly written, and they were going to start recording it pretty soon after Across came out. But they hadn't started animating it at all. And if you don't know what movies are, folks, animation takes the longest out of those three things.
Yep.
So yeah, this movie is definitely going to be getting a delay. They're not sticking to that original release date, but
Um,
they are getting back to work now.
but also, hey, maybe don't treat your artists like shit like last time.
Yeah.
Learn your lesson, motherfucker. Uh, Kevin Feige
Okay.
comments on reports from the original MCU Avengers returning. Now we'll talk about the quote.
This was a crazy ass rumor that was going around in the last couple of weeks before the strikes ended, where people said that they were trying to convince Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson to come back for a new movie.
I've literally not seen that rumor. We did not discuss that at the retreat in the truth. We are doing the project. We are doing a project with Scarlett. I love Robert. He is part of the family, but in terms of returning, we'll have to see.
Hmm.
Basically, we're not doing it, but we're not like if they want to and we want to and we can reach a deal, we may do it.
Yeah. Here's my guess. That's probably not something they had thought of at all, and that's people pulling like the old, oh, they're not making a bajillion dollars anymore, so they're gonna pull a desperate, crazy nostalgia move, I bet, and trying to just get rumors going.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that he said they're doing something with Scarlet, I think there's gonna be a flashback scene in Thunderbolts.
I can
Because
see that.
remember, White Widow and Red Guardian are gonna be major characters in Thunderbolts.
Surprise Johansson's coming back with the Black Widow lawsuit. Here's the thing. Lawsuits are just sometimes lawsuits are personal, and sometimes lawsuits are like, no, we have to do this to make it on the record.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, Stan Lee sued Marvel.
Mhm. And the whole thing was like didn't he have like a rights thing he was trying to get worked out, or like his likeness was something he was trying to get worked out, and it was literally like they had projects in the works up till the day before the suit was filed, and then they put them on the hold for like 2 years, I think, while the suit was going on, and then immediately afterwards he came back and did a ton of stuff with Marvel,
Yeah,
because
it's
that's the thing. A lot of professional, high level artist people are just like, hey, I gotta take care of myself, but also like I still like doing this thing. I want to do as much of this thing as I can do.
and again, like I've been kind of pointing out and iterating a lot of the problems that have been happening with Marvel, such as that release thing, or just a variety of things, seems to be much more from Disney management than Marvel Studios themselves. Scarlett probably has no ill will towards Kevin Feige and any of the production studio crap people there. It's more of like fuck Disney.
Yeah, administratively, she got screwed over.
Yeah. And here's the thing: I could totally see them coming back as like a fun cameo in Secret Wars.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like, I still sometimes think about that episode we did from Cody's house about Wakanda Forever, where Cody said he's expecting them to be fighting all across multiple timelines in those movies,
Mm-hmm.
and like that idea has stuck in my head. I do really want to see that happen.
Yeah. But yeah, nope. Kevin Feige just mentioned talking about the rumors. We got a trailer for Echo.
Yeah, the
We'll
Echo show is still happening, everybody, and they start off with the trailer starts off with a big old like, hey, there's gonna be some there you're gonna get some classic Kingpin content. Everybody, calm down. He's still gonna be violent like he was in the Daredevil show.
but
Uh,
also like you can kind of understand this violence of a guy mocking a little girl for being deaf. Like,
yeah,
if you
it
don't get a
looks
little pissed at that, you're a monster.
Yeah, and I agree with Hockey. The show legitimately looks great. It looks of the quality of the Netflix shows to me. I'm a little bit concerned because there's a quote that was going around the time the trailer dropped of the head producer, I think it was, saying like, "Oh, she's not going to have her lame powers in our show." Which is just like, man, if you're making a show about a comic book character, don't say their superpowers are lame.
And here,
That's asking for people to get mad at
and
you.
here's the thing: the power she has makes a lot of like what I think would have been a better thing to say is like, hey, we're changing up her powers a little bit because it would work better for film, which is a totally fine, understandable thing to do, because her powers is the same thing as a Taskmaster,
Mhm.
physical photographic memory of she sees something she can mimic it, and in the
Yeah.
comic book that's super easy to do. You just same to draw the same pose, but in film it's a little harder to do. You
Yeah,
know,
and this seems much less like just a cool superhero thing and more like an almost Kill Bill style revenge story. And I'm very much down to see that within the context of the MCU. I wasn't super big on the character after seeing her in Hawkeye, but this trailer looks interesting enough that I'm definitely here for it.
yeah, I'm interested to see it. Everything looks really good. Kingpin looks amazing.
Kingpin looks amazing. The one little shot we get of Daredevil looks neat.
Yeah, overall, I'm excited to see it, and especially because of all the upheaval at the Daredevil show,
Yeah,
which like on surface, yeah, sucks that all that's happening, but also the reasons that they say is like, yeah, it wasn't tight enough. Everything was just all over the place. We wanted to be better. I can understand that.
definitely.
But are you gonna do what I want?
Your computer is being all kinds of slow
Yeah.
tonight.
From what I heard, the people working on the show want to connect her more to her Indigenous American roots, since the director and other people working there are Indigenous American. Yeah, sure. Her
That's
power
dope.
has no
That's valid.
Yeah, her power has no her power does not invalidate her heritage and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. It's just doesn't invalidate it. And it's just like, you could do something with it. Fantastic Four director Matt Sharkman teases comic inspiration for an MCU reboot.
This normally isn't the kind of thing we would cover because this is just a little quote that's pulled out of an interview about like, hey, what are you thinking? What's your take you're exploring from the movie? Are you looking at the old movies at all? And he basically said, yeah, no, I'm not looking at any kind of movies or anything. I'm going back to the comics. I grew up with the Jack and Stan stuff, but also I'm a big fan of what Hickman did and what Ryan North is doing right now, which is that made me so happy to just see Dan Slott get cucked like that right
Oh, you
there
know
in
what? I
front of
just realized
everybody.
we haven't had a Ryan North Fantastic Four issue in a bit.
Yeah, they're probably taking a break for some reason.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
fair.
know.
But hey, just directly going like, hey, Hickman, hey, Secret Wars. It's like, yeah, okay,
Hmm.
we know what they're doing. They're doing.
I almost wonder if this FF isn't going to hop in from another timeline where they were always there, and they're gonna think like they fucked something up to get them to make a universe where they just now are existing after everybody else.
That may, who knows, we can see a lot of different things happening. But also the other thing that is also on this page that I want to talk about, the director has talked about how he is taking some of the experience from doing It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and bringing it to Fantastic Four, which is just like, yeah, great, fantastic.
Hmm. I've not seen that show, and the clips I've seen haven't made me as interested in it as I feel like they probably should. But I know it's a show a lot of people really like, and it's been funny seeing some of the reactions to that. So
Yeah.
cool.
But yeah, Fantastic Four news. It's good to see that the direction that the creative team is taking of just like, oh yeah, Hickman, Jack, Stan, North, you know.
Yeah, all the good ones.
Superman Legacy will reportedly start filming March 2024. All right, good on
Yeah,
you.
not too much of a delay right there. I think they originally planned to start shooting at the end of January.
Yep, but hey, Superman,
Hmm.
Superman. James Gunn confirms Superman Legacy release date will not change. They're just gonna tighten up some other
Yeah,
bits.
probably just a little bit of crunch, just a little bit. I'm thinking,
Yeah,
unless there's a real, unless they really plan this out crazy well, and he gave himself a bunch of extra room just in case originally.
but yep,
Yeah.
things of that nature happen.
And I think he's gonna fight super hard to keep that date no matter what. Because remember, that's his dad's birthday.
Or maybe they do a little bit less marketing. Maybe they cut down on the marketing time.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
maybe we do have all the marketing, but it's less material from the movie, and it's just like, here's Superman. Okay, cool. Who's the bad guy in the movie? Superman. Ah, Superman.
Look at Nathan Fillion with a bowl cut, everybody. Isn't this amazing?
Yeah, but we haven't seen any footage from the movie. That's because they're still working on it, asshole. Uh, Aquaman trailer.
Yeah,
It's Aquaman.
this came out like a full month ago, or actually more than that, I think. This was like a summer trailer, actually. But yeah,
That's cute.
say what you will about Amber Heard. I don't like her. I'm definitely in that camp. I wish they had just straight up cut her out of the movie or recast her. But she's barely in this trailer. And what is in this trailer looks really dang good. Like, I know there's people who aren't a fan of this adaptation of Aquaman. Speaking as a very casual Aquaman fan, I loved the first movie, and I'm super excited for the second one now because
Yeah.
it looks just as good, if not a little better.
Are they? You think they're gonna kill the baby?
I, I don't think so. I think they're probably setting that baby up for future things because doesn't Aquaman canonically have a dad or have a kid who
Yeah.
is a
Who died because Black Manta killed it as a baby. That's
I
why I'm
was
saying,
thinking
did they kill the
like
baby? Do you think they're gonna kill the
I,
baby?
I guess I could see that happen. There is a shot where the house is like destroyed and in flames, but I'm thinking they're gonna kill Aquadad, um, and they're gonna save the baby because the baby, don't forget, becomes a hero in the Timverse. She's Aqua Girl in Batman Beyond,
But
and I
what?
think they
But
might try and do that.
because the baby is involved with Aquaman losing his hand
Mm.
and the piranhas.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, be interesting to see if they go that far. Kind
Yeah,
of hope they don't.
Aquaman. Okay. Superman flyby photo shows Josh Hartner in costume for Brett Ratner movie.
So, for those of you who aren't aware, Superman Flyby was the movie that went on to become Superman Returns. It was essentially they always wanted to do another Superman after Superman 4, but it was in development hell for literal decades. And at one point it was going to be Superman Lives, at one point it was going to be Superman Flyby, and eventually it developed into Superman Returns. And at one point, they just did a screen test for Josh Hartnett as Superman, and we never saw it until just now. Here's a photo of the man in the costume, which looks very like Kingdom Come meets Action Number One. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't
What
like.
could have been?
I would much prefer like a more John Burney. I prefer John Burney style shields. I shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, I also kind of don't love how the actual material of the blue. It looks like not suede, but what's it called? Like that kind of fabric
Velvet.
where like you can rub your hand across
Yeah,
it and it
velvety
changes
suede.
shades. Yeah, it looks like that stuff, and I don't know if that's the right texture for a superhero costume.
But I do like texture on superhero costumes. But looks cool. Looks
Yeah.
fine. This night. We are getting an adaptation of Dead Boy Detectives.
Yeah, which I had never heard of until frickin' Doom Patrol had them on for 2 episodes in season 3.
Looks like he's going for a
Uh,
Halloween costume than a regular costume. Yeah, that's a fair assessment of that suit.
a little bit, yeah. Yeah, no, this looks really really good. I have no idea if they showed up in the Sandman show because I haven't seen the Sandman show yet.
Yes, they should. Because
But I
literally that's the origin of Dead Boy Detectives. They
Yeah,
started
and I
in
mean this
Sandman.
is and I mean this is being shared by the Sandman Twitter account. So I would imagine it was like they were into an episode or two of that to be like, "Hey, do you want a Dead Boy Detective show, Netflix subscribers?" And I guess everybody was like, "Yeah." And so now here it is. Here's the show. And like it looks good. It looks like a very good adaptation. It looks like a similar vibe to Doom Patrol, honestly, which is why I'm a little upset that it's not the same actors who played them in Doom Patrol. I understand the Sandman show is in a different universe, but like, there's a part of me that just goes like, man, those actors did such a good job. I kind of wish they got a show now.
Yeah. But if I remember right, in the Sandman book, in the Sandman comic, that's where they die
Mm,
to become the Dead Boys.
makes sense.
We got a trailer for Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I can't remember if we've talked about this at all, but obviously Scott Pilgrim is getting an animated adaptation on Netflix that is actually dropping this Friday. This is the final trailer. There have been one or two trailers before this.
Yep.
All the cast from the live action movie are coming back to reprise their roles in the English dub, which that's the thing. This is essentially produced as an anime. There is going to be a Japanese dub with subtitles available in all the various languages Netflix offers them in. Uh, but given the fact that they got the whole movie cast back, I think this is one of the rare times where I'm going in like, yeah, I want to watch the dub. And I will be watching this. I'm not going to be resubscribing to Netflix for it, but I do want to check this out, and we might. I don't think we'll cover it on this show, but maybe on components or something like that. We'll jibber jabber a bit.
Yeah. They were set up in the Sandman show briefly, but they weren't featured. My guess is that it was greenlit after the Sandman show was a success. Yeah, but that's kind of also how they worked in the comic.
Ah, fair enough. Fair
They
enough.
like
Fair
had
enough.
a panel, and someone was like, "What if we did a comic about that?"
Hmm.
But yeah, no, Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim.
Yeah, and it should be said, like both Brian Lee O'Malley and Edgar Wright have been heavily involved with this, giving their stamp of approval on everything.
Yep. I like how Brandon Lee O'Malley is basically one like, yeah, Edgar Wright's the co-creator with me at this point. They just
Yeah.
work together.
Hmm.
Um, Also, can we just mention, and because it's been a joke every once in a while, whenever a new trailer pops up, this is the most emotion Michael Cera has put into a performance in forever.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the guy was kind of born to play Scott.
Yeah. But hey, I'm excited to see this because it looks like it's adapting directly more of the comic, which I like and enjoy.
Hmm. I mean, I don't think we've ever really talked about Scott Pilgrim on this show, so I should just say, like, Scott Pilgrim is one of those things where I've always been like, yeah, I should be really into that, but I'm just not for whatever reason. Like, I've seen the movie, I liked it, but I didn't love it. I read the first couple volumes of the comic, and I was like, this is good, but it's just not clicking with me for whatever reason. And I played the game for like 2 evenings, and I honestly fucking hated it. I'm not a beat 'em up guy at all.
Oh, I forgot Michael Cera's Lego Robin.
Yeah. Oh man, that movie. We should talk about that movie sometime.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim. At this point in time, they've done everything they could have done with Scott Pilgrim,
Yeah.
and the
Sort of
only thing,
making like an actual good, highly articulated toy line.
yeah. But like they've made a movie, they've made an anime now, they've made a video game. Like the only like if you keep trying to adapt and do Scott Pilgrim, you're just gonna keep you're starting to be the dead horse.
At this
Like
point, all that's really left is a live action series, and do we really need that?
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Buster said, this feels like the final. This is the last thing of Scott Pilgrim, the ultimate Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, this is the last drop of blood coming out of the stone.
Yeah. And I don't want to say let it die, just more of like let time move on. Let's
Yeah. Let it be what it is. Let it be the product of its time that it is.
Marvel reveals the new Green Goblin for Spider-Man.
Yep, issue 2 of Ultimate Spider-Man got solicited, and ooh, look, he looks a bit like Iron Man, don't he?
He also looks a little bit like Spider-Man 1.
Mm-hmm. Also, Peter looks so fucking dad journalist mode there. I kind of love it. He looks like bearded Superman.
Yeah, he's good. Oh man, it's good.
Yeah, I'm 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 very interested in this series. Very interested.
So far, Ultimate Universe, the new Ultimate Universe has been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, can't wait to read Spider-Man. Venom
Bearded.
symbiote bonds with new host in reality-shattering new series What If Venom.
Yep. Folks, they're a little out of ideas. We're getting we're getting a series of what if one shots that are just what if the Venom symbiote possessed this person first instead of Spider-Man. You know, like there've always there's been a ton of stories like that before, but now you can see Loki and She-Hulk and Moon Knight. Please be excited.
And Wolverine.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
Venom does sell, but at a certain point, it's just like, man, this is just blatant buy baiting.
Here's the thing. At some point, they're I am perfectly accepting of there needing to be a certain level of still bullshit to maintain the other good shit that doesn't sell as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of like at this point, anytime I see anything that's Venom that's not Eddie, I kind of just roll my eyes in the back of my head and ignore it. Because the last time there was a good, what if this character had the Venom symbiote, or just what if this character had a symbiote in general design, it was when Spider-Gwen got it. Because they made her hood the mouth, and that was a really cool idea. But
Or Flash Thompson. You said Eddie. I just want to say Flash also gets some respect
Yeah.
as Venom at this point in
Yeah.
time.
And I mean, even then, I didn't read that Spider-Gwen story. I just saw the action figure, and I went, this looks cool.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's keeping the lights on.
Yeah.
Night Thrasher leaves the 90s behind in new solo series. Holy shit! We're
Yep.
getting the Night Thrasher?
Yeah, and it's written and drawn by a bunch of people I've never heard of, and I don't give a shit about Night Thrasher at all. This is purely here for Boingo to be excited.
Holy shit, I'm reading the fuck out of this.
Yeah.
Fucking Night Thrasher. Holy hell.
You know somebody was just like you and went like, Night Thrasher was my guy growing up. That's my Scrimblow. Let me write my Scrimblow, Marvel. And they were like, all right, you got 5 issues. And they were like,
No, 4.
4.
Yes, it's 1 of 4.
Well, it's probably going to be next year's like version of that Darkhawk revival that kind of went nowhere.
Yeah, but that was a good revival. That was a good character.
It was good. It's just nobody did anything with it after.
By the way, if you aren't aware who Night Thrasher is, he is a black man who's rich, kind of like Iron Man, who builds his tech, but he rides a skateboard.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a infamous letter that Dwayne McDuffie wrote to Marvel, I think it was, about the fact that 2 of their biggest black characters were skateboarders. And he was like, I have a brand new character for you. It's a black guy on a skateboard. and Marvel was like, yeah, you're right, Dwayne. Help us.
Wasn't that also like the impetus for him to start the
Damage Control?
Not Damage Control,
He made Damage Control.
The fucking DC Universe static comes from.
Yeah. He wanted well, Milestone.
I can't remember the name of it right.
Milestone Comics.
That's it, yeah.
Milestone Comics came from a place of a bunch of black creators going like, we want more black superheroes. So they just made a bunch of black superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
Night Thrasher. Fuck, man. New Omnibus collects all of the Marvel Godzilla era.
Yep. The Marvel licensing renewals is rolling along. We got ROM, we got Micronauts, and now they're reprinting all of their Godzilla, which is pretty exciting because that's like a for a whole generation, that's like their Godzilla. So it'll be cool to see that back in circulation for a little bit.
Yeah. It definitely.
Unlike the Hasbro stuff, I don't know if this is going to lead to a new Godzilla series, especially because there's one at DC right now.
I don't think so. I think it's just Toho is going, hey, we're kind of not necessarily reviving Godzilla full force, but we're trying to keep Godzilla more as a living brand instead of just letting it be on hiatus. Hey, could you
Yeah.
just do you want the license to reprint those books?
70th anniversary is coming up. There's a new movie about to drop, so they're probably just doing a big push in general for anything.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Cool to see.
Yeah.
Uh, DC announces new Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad Dream Team is going to be coming next year, spinning out of the Beast World event and an issue of Action Comics that's going to be coming out very soon.
Mm.
Essentially, it's going to be Amanda Waller grabbing Dreamer and saying like, "Hey, I need you for a thing. Here's your team. Go do this thing." Which is that's cool. That's the thing that's happening. I'm not like a particularly big Suicide Squad fan. I like the original book. I like the James Gunn movie. That's kind of it. And Dreamer is one of those characters where it's like, I don't have anything against her. I just have a hard time getting behind her because like her powers are kind of esoteric and she doesn't really have a strong personality. So whenever she shows up, she's that weird kind of modern character where it's like, I don't want to get mad at you, but it kind of feels like you're just here for inclusion's sake. Because all I ever hear is Dreamer is cool because her power is unlike anything anyone else in DC has, in that she can like use people's dreams against them or like to learn more about them. And also, she's a trans woman. Isn't it cool that DC has a prominent trans woman character now?
Is she dating Connor? Is that Connor?
Uh, I don't know who that's meant to be. And she's probably not dating Connor because I thought Connor was dating Magan right now.
Oh yeah, they are. It
I have
is
no idea what's going on in this preview, honestly.
because that's a super character. That is a super jacket.
Yeah, is that maybe her just showing up and being like, "Hey, John, I need what's going on? Let's do a thing."
Yeah, and I
John or
mean,
Connor or somebody. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. This is a book that's happening. Everybody, please be excited.
I'm trying
I'm
to.
probably not gonna read it.
Yeah. Who knows whom's that is? But
Yeah,
another reason why I said Connor is because there's a front porch, and Connor kind of lives in Smallville more often than Metropolis.
who that?
So that's why I was kind of going like Connor.
Connor, my boy, Connor, Superboy, my boy, who I'm nostalgic for.
City of Dover, New Hampshire. TMNT fans were at the Union Street for the unveiling of the TMNT sewer manhole cover, marking the birthplace of the comics 40 years ago this month. TMNT co-creator Kevin Eastman spoke about how he and Peter Laird started their Turtle Odyssey at 28 Union Street.
Yeah, I remember we talked months and months ago about them trying to get this funded, and it looks like it actually happened. Really cool little thing, little historical landmark for everybody to go see.
Yeah, and it's personalized to TMNT because like you wouldn't want anything else to be a manhole cover, but TMNT getting a manhole cover, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it even like specifically looks like the Mirage designs.
Yeah, that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, what a neat thing.
Original site of Mirage Studios. That is probably one of the more impactful independent comic booms.
Yeah.
What's the Turtles boom? Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow team reunites for Dark Horse Comics. Helen of Windorn.
Yeah, Tom King and Belquist Evely, and I think the letterer of that book are all getting together for a new independent book about a lady who inherits a big spooky house from her uncle, who was a famous mystery author, and finds out there's all kinds of crazy secrets in the big spooky house, and there's probably a bunch of stuff linking to her past and her trauma in there as well. Yeah, obviously, I really like Tom King. I fell in love with Belquist Evely's art through Woman of Tomorrow. So I'm going to be checking this out. This looks interesting.
Alrighty.
You want to pull up the toy news now?
Yeah, the news got a little.
Yeah, because I had to add in a bunch of stuff we missed or
Yeah.
had to skip, however you want to look at it. So yeah, a lot of stuff
A lot
going
of interesting.
on, but
Fucking Night Thrasher.
fucking Night Thrasher, bro.
Like, Jesus Christ.
He's gonna come in on his sick skateboard and bop you in the face.
Like, part of me kind of hopes, like, what if it does well and they just do a new Warriors book?
Mm.
Or
I
we,
like I like how you had to say you had to decide between saying we get a new Warriors book or we get a new Warriors book.
yeah. Because we had a new
Oh,
Warriors book, but it got canceled because everybody mocked it.
yeah.
Rightfully so, but
So in reality, this would be the new Warriors.
yeah, new Warriors.
Yeah. Although it's like the what the legacy number would be like number 62, so it would be the new Warriors.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Fucking Legos!
Yeah, we don't always talk about Lego, but when we do, it's because a really cool set got announced. Lego Collector's Edition Avengers Tower is coming. This is a $500 set. The tower is going to be 13 inches tall, and it comes with, I think it was like 20 minifigures. This thing looks insane, and it's one of those things where, like, unlimited space, unlimited budget. Yeah, I would definitely get it because it looks awesome. But as is, look at these pretty pictures, everybody, because that's as close as we're gonna get.
Yeah. It looks like it can work with the city modular sets,
Yeah,
but you
I
get
didn't even pick up
like
on that.
you get Avengers 1, you get Endgame.
Yeah, you get a little bit of everything. It's really meant to just be a celebration of the MCU in general. Because I think the biggest MCU set we gotten before this was the Helicarrier, and that wasn't even in minifigure scale. They had to use micro figures for that. This is I want to say it says in the article, but I think it's something like 1,500 or 5,000 pieces. So essentially you're paying $100 per thousand pieces here,
Yeah,
which is
no,
not a
it
bad
it
deal.
is designed to work with it because it has the base plate is done up like one of the modular city
Oh yeah, totally. Look at
so you could
that.
do that, so you can hook it up, but you can also put in the sidewall so it can fit better.
Yeah. This is probably the coolest Lego Marvel set there's been since the Daily Bugle they did a few years
This would
back.
work so well with the Daily Bugle.
Yeah. Oh man, look at that. Look at Kevin Hart having a great time right there.
But yeah, no, we got okay. That wasn't in the tower. That was in the fucking helicarrier. You're being sneaky, Lego.
But you wanna play feature on every floor when you're Lego. So
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta make artistic licenses.
But I'm just pointing out. The
Yeah.
iron suit with the oh, it's the
I
arm
love that
guy.
the I love that the Iron Suit specifically has battle damage on this version too. You don't often see that on Lego ones.
Let's see. Got some citizens. We got War Machine. We got Hawkeye right there. Who's
Yeah.
that with the? Is that Wong with a hot dog?
It might be. I can't quite tell.
Yeah, no. Here's all the minifigures.
Is that the most minifigures they've ever put in a box? That is a lot.
So let's see. We got Vision. We got Rescue. We got a lot of civilians. We got two different Scarlet Witches. We got Wasp. We got War Machine. We got Iron Man. We got Scarlet Witch. We don't have an Ant Man.
Interesting.
Where's Ant Man?
Where's Anthony?
Where's the Ant Man?
Where is he?
Yeah, odd.
Yeah. But no, really good looking set. Would love to buy it. Definitely am not going to.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a lot of the toy news is like, oh man, this looks nice. I might never have it.
Amazing
Anyway.
Yamaguchi Winter Soldier figure. We got some more pictures of it.
Yeah, it went up for pre-order, so we got the full solicitation, all the pretty promotional pictures, and I kind of agree with the consensus on this thing of like it does look better and make a little bit more sense now that we've got like some photos of it doing imposes. The domino mask head is a really cool touch. It still doesn't feel quite right that they're doing Bucky in this style. It still doesn't quite work for me, and it looks a little awkward.
I mean, you get Bucky for this.
Yeah, that's the display you do, isn't it?
or you do the back to back and they're working together, or
Yeah.
this. Like, this is badass.
Yeah. Little note about that. Um, the only he does not come with that shield if you just buy him standard. You have to pre-order through the Good Smile Company store.
Mm.
You would have to have a Japanese middleman to get the shield, but like we've
Or
had
you
so
could
many
just
Captain
also have
Americas at
Captain
this point.
America.
Yeah, we've had so many Captain Americas at this point that like, come on, you got a spare shield lying around.
Yeah, but like comes with the muzzle, comes with all the things. Like, yeah, no, I like it.
Mhm. Yeah,
Works. It's good.
yeah. Uh, it also is just a little weird that like he comes with trigger finger hands but no guns.
Yeah.
Just a weird thing that tends to happen with imports these days, but overall, it doesn't look terrible. It just kind of looks a little too awkward for most casual collectors, I think.
Yeah. Jesus. That 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 sells the figure to me. That. We also got Bandai SH Figure Arts, The Marvels, Captain Marvel. Look, white woman.
White woman that doesn't even look like the white woman. That face sculpt is really bad. I do not care for that likeness at all. People have pointed out it does look better than the first SH Figure Arts Carol we got for Endgame, I believe it was, but not by much. She still looks like a fucking. She looks like an like
She looks
somebody
like
tried to recreate her in Blender over a weekend.
no. She looks like the actress in 15 years.
Yeah, or like maybe the stunt woman.
Yeah.
And also it's just weird that like I get it, she's Captain Marvel, but also we already have a lot of figures of her. Why are you doing her first out of the free ladies in this movie? We still don't have a figure arts Kamala or Monica, so please don't hinge whether or not that happens on pre-orders for her because I'm willing to bet a lot of people would skip her whereas they would go crazy for the other two.
Yeah. Marvel Legends, Lalandra.
Yeah, so we talked about this getting revealed at an Italian comic show last week. I didn't realize that was I was like, I've never heard of this show before. Apparently, it's like the Italian equivalent of Comic Con. Luca Comics and Games was where this was shown. And we just kind of had a fuzzy like at the panel picture. And a few days later, after we did the show, Hasbro put the official render up on their Twitter account, and yeah, it does look a fair bit better now that we have a clear look at it. Still don't love the design of that cape. That's gonna make our posing her a bit of a pain in the ass, but easy swap out for a cloth one probably.
Yep.
I am impressed with how many new parts there are on her. Those legs look new. The gauntlets look like new pieces.
Of course, the
Uh,
head.
the head is obviously. I would have expected them to just reuse the Walgreens Mystique head, but no, they made a whole new sculpt and it looks great. Um, I'll be interested to see what if she comes with any accessories at all because I could see them just packing her in with a big Build-A-Figure piece, but also like she does have her big trident staff thing that they could give her, and it would be really cool if they did an unmasked head with the full-on bird hairdo.
Yeah.
Um, and
Man.
also, like people have pointed out,
Mm-hmm.
the new parts on her, um, they have almost the same layout to do an armored Excalibur era Cyclops or Psylocke from the 80s.
Mm.
Could be interesting to see.
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? Golden Age Joker. Look at the joke, man.
Yeah.
Look at this man from the fucking 60s comics.
Yep, we've had the Batman and Two-Face two-pack for a while. I think they released someone else as well, but finally we have Golden Age Joker, and man, he looks great. Like this isn't my Joker by any means, but man, he looks lovely. And I saw him and I just immediately thought like, oh man, it's a good day to be a Batman the Brave and the Bold fan.
Yeah. His head's a little narrowed to be Brave and the Bold.
Little
His
bit.
head's a little wide.
Mm-hmm. And like honestly, it just looks like an all-around pretty great Joker figure. Would be A little better if it came with a trick gun of some kind, but I get it. Warner Brothers doesn't allow that anymore, so they got to work around it as best as they can. Um, and the only criticism I have of the stuff he actually does come with is that newspaper, because I think it just says Joker escapes again or something like that.
Joker's still at large.
Yeah. They missed a golden opportunity to get so many sales just for that newspaper. It should have been the boner, the boner newspaper from the meme.
Oh yeah, you know someone's gonna make a sticker for that, a repro label.
Yeah, yeah. That. Oh man. But yeah, solid looking figure.
Yeah, solid looking dude. Good everything. And Multiverse Batman and Robin wave official picks.
Yeah, we've known about this for a while, but it went up for pre-order this week, and so we get all the like full turnaround promotional images. Um, and yeah, man, I've been on the fence, but I think I really need this wave. Well, not you don't need toys. Let's be clear. I don't need all this,
You
but
emotionally need it.
I really want this wave because I have childhood memories of watching Batman and Robin. And like, look, it's not a great movie. I'll agree. It's got a lot of problems, but it's still a fun movie. And if you go in with the right attitude, you can really enjoy it.
It's not a great
And
movie, but it's a perfect toy commercial.
yeah, and like to get toys that are actually accurate to the movie, like some of the likenesses are a little bit off. That doesn't look exactly like Alicia Silverstone, but they're close enough and they're way closer than anything we've had before that like yeah, I like these. I'm gonna get these. I wanna put together and build a figure of Mr. Freeze. Though I do agree with people who have been speculating Todd's probably going to put out a single release of Mr. Freeze as a deluxe figure with like actual silver paint on the body at some point, and I may pick that up as well. But for right now, this is pretty much good enough for me. The only thing I would change is just like give all the bat people batarangs.
Yeah.
The ice effects to replicate the opening scene are cool, but they need stuff in the hold.
I just gotta say, that is very recognizably George Clooney's chin.
Yeah, it's that spot that and the poison ivy are the two that I'm like, oh, that looks exactly like them. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, really solid looking Batman. That's a decent fighting stance. Hopefully, you can actually stand on a surface doing that.
Hopefully you can get more articulation out of those fucking ankles.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, looks good. Packaging. Yeah, nice. We got some figure photography of Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not a bad Arnold.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent likeness. Um, I do agree with folks that I kind of wish the whole body was the same silver as the helmet because the helmet's clearly like a clear plastic overlay that's painted silver in spots. Um, but the body doesn't look bad, and it looks close enough to the movie color that I like it. And this poison ivy man, this is spot fucking on, and you can clearly tell a lot of the paint budget for this wave went to her with the shading on the stockings and the little like overtones on the leaves on her bodysuit, and the likeness like that just looks exactly like Uma Thurman. It's incredible.
You know what? I think Uma Thurman would totally be down to do today to come back and play Poison Ivy as a full on just like dramatic lesbian.
Mm-hmm. And like I would be interested to hear like if they just sculpted these all in-house or if they got like new face scans of any of the actors at all, because there's a famous story about when they were making this movie and Kenner was working on the toys. They showed early prototypes to the cast and everybody was just kind of like, yeah, whatever, okay. Uma Thurman got mad about how her figure looked and made Kenner send a sculptor to her house to sculpt her over the weekend.
I mean, she has a very distinct look, and I imagine that's like part of her brand. And she goes like, "No, it needs to look like me."
Yeah, this is like for this huge big budget glorified toy commercial. It's cool that she cared that much.
Yeah. Robin.
Yeah, doesn't exactly look like Chris O'Donnell, but it looks close enough that I'm fine with.
You know what? It looks like a cartoon version of Chris O'Donnell.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, no. And suits better than I remember.
How much you want to bet we're gonna get a re-release of this in blue as well?
Man, how much you? I could totally see them doing a re-release of these in like original colors, like
Yeah.
current colors.
There's also like a bunch of suit changes within the movie itself, so I could see them releasing the Bat Family in their Arctic gear as well.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on how well this wave does, because that's the thing. This is a
Yeah.
very belied movie.
Yeah, they're taking a huge risk making this, to be totally fair. But I think with how much time has passed since like people were really righteously angry about this movie, especially on the internet, we are so far removed from the days of the nostalgia critics screaming about the back credit card.
Yeah.
I think we're at a point now where there's folks like me who are like, "Hey, I grew up on this movie. It's not great, but I still like it." That I think this will sell okay. I'm not expecting it to do gangbusters, but I think they'll move units.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other DC movie that they could make figures that are like not the greatest. Like maybe Green
I,
Lantern.
I mean, they could make Tim's fucking day and do steel figures.
Get Shaquille O'Neal's like, hey, here, Shaq, here you go.
Yeah. Also,
Uh,
like they could do Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern figures, but don't forget that movie had such a huge push at the time. They made toys of everything back when that movie was new.
yeah.
Even like background characters.
Boop boop boop. Return of Superman Super. McFarlane Collector Line. Wave 3. Wave 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two safe bets and one like holy shit they're doing that guy. Because you got
That's.
Batman as Green Lantern based off of the Elseworlds, I think.
It's not. That's not what he looks like in the Elseworlds book.
Oh, I wonder what that is. That's
He
got to be
doesn't have
something.
the ears
Hmm.
in Elseworlds.
Okay, well that's fine.
Captain
Captain Goddamn Carrots. I saw this and I instantly went, "Oh, Boingo's gonna be so
I
happy."
fucking love that. And
Yeah,
Return of Superman, Superman.
yeah. Return of Superman, Superman with crypto. If you'll go to the next link.
Okay. I was
Yeah, because
yeah,
they
crypto.
originally solicited this and they just said like, "Oh, Superman's coming with crypto," and everybody was like, "Crypto's not in the picture. What does crypto look like? Show us crypto." And so McFarlane Toys just posted this photo like a day later.
Batman doesn't
Um,
have cocksucking action like the Joker.
oof, big oof, yeah, definitely big oof right there. Um, but yeah, no, this looks like a solid wave. I have no idea what version that Captain Carrot is based on because it doesn't look familiar to me. He's usually much
Multiversity,
more
I think.
cartoony. Oh, okay. But yeah, looks like a beautifully sculpted figure. And like I of course have my perfect Superman already, but to get a modern figure of Crypto that doesn't look cartoonified at all,
Apparently, it's also non-articulated though.
yeah, that's the thing. Is like I really wish they had done the because this Superman is full body reuse with a new head. I think we've seen this body a couple times before. I think it's the Dark Knight Returns body. Um, but like they could have taken the budget they saved by full on doing body reuse and putting it into like doing the GI Joe classified series Timber thing and giving us a fully articulated doggo. So it's like yeah, it's a modern crypto figure that actually looks like a dog, but also it doesn't have much posability. I don't know. I'm really torn about that. That
Yeah.
there's a part of me that wants to get it, and there's a part of me that's like that would be a waste of money. So I don't know.
Also another Spawn. Look at it's
Yeah,
Spawn.
King Spawn, aka how he looks right now in the comics.
It's Spawn.
Yep. Please be excited. Pre-orders coming soon.
McFarlane ass, please clap. And that
Ooh, Todd, you're so great. You're the most creative man ever. Congratulations. Good big boy. Oh, yay.
everybody loves your plastic. And doesn't put and just puts up with the articulation.
It's got the articulation and it's sexy. Don't forget, it's real sexy. The articulation.
I want to show an amazing Yamaguchi toy to Todd McFarlane to scare the shit out of him. There's so much articulation. You ready to talk about some comics
Sure.
in this comic book podcast?
Oh my God. Is this going to be like is this going to, like, when this is all said and done, this is going to be like an old school free hour one.
Yeah. Hey, guess what? I read The Punisher.
Oh boy, how you liking? I can't believe it's not Franklin.
Have you ever read The Punisher in the 90s with Microchip?
No,
You understand the vague idea of Punisher in the 90s with Microchip?
kinda, yeah.
Here you go.
Oh, okay.
It's literally just like, hey, this is Frank Castle without all the baggage that we've added to him over the years.
Okay, so
It
it's kind
is,
of like what they wanted to do with Ben Riley back in the day.
yeah, it is literally, this is a dude who is a former wet works for Shield. He retired and his family got killed, and he is John Wicking it. He is going like, all right, I'm back in it to take revenge.
Hmm.
Literally, it feels like What If Punisher, but we took influence from John Wick.
Interesting.
It's good. It's solid. It is.
Also, he's got the sci-fi guns, and his logo still isn't quite like the classic one that's been co-opted.
Yeah, but it's enough like the classic logo that you like. It is the classic logo, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's got the pouch teeth, and that makes me happy.
It's good, but if you're expecting the recent Punisher that got heady and very emotional and very interesting in places, that's not this. This is classic, back to basics Punisher story. It is a dude chasing bad guys, going, "I'ma kill them." That's it.
Yeah, probably made some old people very happy.
No, because it's not Frank. But I liked it. I'm gonna keep reading it. I enjoyed the character enough.
Okay.
So, and I would love, like, here's the thing. This feels like the Punisher everyone thinks the Punisher is, of like, oh, he's a guy taking it to the bad guys and getting justice. Of like, that feels like this guy. He feels like he has his head on his shoulder. Where Frank feels like he's like, nah, he would have been a serial killer anyway.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah,
This feels like the version of the Punisher that you imagine.
makes sense.
Which is, I think, it creates a feel, you know?
It's a vibe.
Yeah. I read Uncanny Spider-Man #3.
Hey, how's Kurt doing this month?
It's fucking hilarious. It's great.
All right.
So Silver Sable's been hired by Orcus to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But when she's not on the clock, they're fucking.
God damn it.
Literally, she like
This woman has a type?
yeah, and she's just like, and so like we have a whole scene of them post coitus, where he goes like, so we're fucking and you're killing me, and she's like, no, I don't want to kill you. I just have a job, and I'll do my job and try to kill you, but you're also you, and you can pretty much avoid it. So I'm not that worried, you know. And it's that kind of like Nightcrawler flirting and all that kind of stuff. It's cute. He makes a mention of like, maybe we shouldn't be out here because they fucked on the top of a building in the open.
Oh my god, they full on infamous Second Son did, huh?
Yeah.
That's right, everybody. Vac just did a video game reference. Fuck you.
And he makes a reference of like, maybe we should go somewhere else. And she goes like, yeah, it is getting cold outside, and I don't have the fur that you do. You know. Question: is Nightcrawler's dick furry?
Ooh.
Does it go all the way down, or is it like a red rocket?
I'm gonna go to the next con Chris Claremont's at.
And we also get more on what's going on with Vulture and all that stuff. He has basically kidnapped Warlock and using it to control people. And he's kidnapped Cloak and Dagger and a couple other characters and using them to hunt down mutants in New York.
Mm.
And yeah, it's good. It's good shit.
Nice.
Yeah. We both read Thanos, Return of the Mad Titan.
This book was surprisingly good. I expect this to be a little jank, little like, nah. And I also wasn't even sure if it was in current continuity because I'd forgotten all those stories we covered about it. Um, but it's really solid because it's not even really about Thanos. It's about a character that he's after, which is kind of a smart way to write Thanos now. We've done
Yeah.
so much Thanos stuff that everybody kind of knows who Thanos is as a character. You've done all the character studies you can really do with him. So it kind of serves him better to just have him be a big, ominous incoming threat.
Yep.
And that's very much how is played in this. There's a lot of time spent just introducing us to the character he's after and who she is as a person, and then right at the end he shows up and then the Illuminati show up, and then it's
I'm not sure if it's completely the Illuminati. Is it?
well, they call themselves the Illuminati,
Okay,
and
then that,
she says, "Oh, you're the Avengers," and they're like, "No, we're the Illuminati. That's different. We call ourselves the Illuminati when we're doing stuff we don't want people to know about." Oh, and she's like, "Didn't that get like ousted as like oh, there were different people on there?" And they're like, "It's a whole thing. We'll explain later. Come on."
well, I mean, it's
Um,
mostly the same because it's Doctor Strange, Reed Richards, Iron Man, and like a couple others, and then there's Emma Frost, who is currently, I'd say, the
yeah.
closest thing to the mutant leader.
Yeah, it's the original guys, but they've swapped out Charles for Emma, and is it Black Bolt? They swapped him out for Blue Marvel.
Hmm,
Um,
totally fair.
but yeah, it's a pretty solid little book. And it was just interesting for me because I don't follow Marvel Cosmic too closely. So did I just miss that Death got taken off the table? Because this girl is pretty obviously a reincarnated Death.
Kinda, yeah.
Okay.
I think it happened earlier. I don't think it was recent.
Yeah, it feels like that was a few years ago, and it's supposed to be like a big reveal that's coming in a future issue of he's after you because he wants to fuck you. Oh no!
I think that might have happened in the fuck, what's his name? I really enjoy him. He wrote Venom.
Donny Cates.
Donny Cates' run of Guardians of the Galaxy because that's when Thanos died.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah. So good book.
very good book. I like
Very
it.
good book. You read Superman 78, The Metal Curtain.
Yeah, so this is a sequel to the Superman 78 book from last year. It's the same creative team coming back to essentially do a their version of Superman 4, because the first book was supposed to be their version of Superman 3. Essentially, Superman in this universe, Superman 1 happened, the Richard Donner cut of Superman 2 happened, and then the last book happened, and now we're in this one.
Question: what's the
Uh,
major differences between two and the Donner cut?
um, the way Lois finds out that Clark is Superman is much less clumsy and feels like a bit more of like a strong character moment. And the way he defeats the villains, I think, is completely different.
Right, because in the original he does like a weird cellophane shield
Yeah,
thing.
there's no made up powers in the Donner cut.
Okay.
There's no made up for the movie cut because like the whole reason there were so many made up powers in the original cut of Superman 2 was that was the new director trying to get the other actors to the actors to like him. It was just him going like, "Hey, anybody got any ideas? Anything you think should be in the movie?" And I don't think anybody's directly taking credit for like the cellophane ass, but it was definitely some actor going like, "Wouldn't it be cool if he stopped the villains this way?"
What
Um,
non-violently? I can see that.
yeah. But yeah, this is very good. It's very solid. It's just like kind of a comfy return to this universe. Everybody feels fully in character. I love the way this writer writes these versions of Lois and Clark. There's essentially a big scene at the beginning where Perry's like, "Hey, Lois, stop doing dumb shit. You keep almost dying, and Superman keeps having to save you. It's driving our insurance premiums through the roof. Knock it off." And she's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, Perry." And then she just goes back to her office with Clark and is just like, "So I'm gonna go back to doing crazy shit." And he's like, "God damn it, Lois." You know Superman has other shit to do. You want him to come here and like fucking make your copies and everything too? And she's like, well, maybe. I don't know. It's like he's just like fucking goddamn it. But a lot of this issue is actually spent building up the villain for this story, which is the Superman 78 version of Metallo.
Oh, they're doing.
Who?
I figured
Yep.
they were going to do Metallo, but I was going like, wait, wasn't the bad guy in 4 like Radioactive Man or something like that? And maybe they're doing Atomic Skull.
Mm. They're playing very much into the themes of the time here because I think he does have the same name as comic Metallo, but the origin here is that a kryptonite meteor crashes in Russia around the same time Superman is and just gets into the hands of some scientists. And then when Superman shows up, the Russian government, because remember this is back during the Cold War, they go like, "Oh fuck, this America's posturing big time with this Superman guy. He's clearly like a secret government project, but we know this rock can hurt him. So we're just gonna give a super soldier one of our best soldiers. We're gonna give him a super powered armor that runs on that shit."
All right,
So yeah, saw a little kickoff to this book.
nice, nice, nice. You also read Birds of Prey 3.
Yeah, pretty significant issue. They actually make landfall on Themyscira, and there's a lot of like little character moments of them infiltrating the Amazon kingdom in their own different ways. A lot of good little comedy bits from Harley in this, and a very sweet moment of Black Canary finally reuniting with Sin. However, I have to say my favorite part of the issue is definitely the way it ends because as soon as Black Canary and Sin reunite, the alarm goes off and they're like, "Oh shit, she's coming." And Black Canary's like, "Don't worry, I can buy us some time. Ollie, do your thing." And then it just cuts to Washington, D.C., where Green Arrow is standing on top of a skyscraper like 12 blocks away from Wonder Woman, and he tries to snipe her with an arrow, and she just blocks it with her brace, turns to the aide next to her, goes, "Please inform Themyscira that I'm aware of the alarm, but I will be a moment because I have to deal with something." And she just flies right over to the building and is like, "Ollie, what the fuck are you doing?" And he tries to fight her every way she can, and just keeps non-lethally defeating him, and she's like, "If you don't stop right now, I am going to have to break your arm. Do you want that?" And he's like, "No, sorry." And she's like, "Okay, what's going on?" And he's like, you might want to go home. Yeah, sorry." And then the last page is just Wonder Woman showing up on Themyscira and being like, "The fuck are you ladies doing?" And it's really cool. It's portrayed like Wonder Woman is a force to be reckoned with. You want to be afraid of Wonder Woman. It's nice to see that theme being carried on in DC books the last couple weeks.
Yeah. Also, I love Ollie just helping out his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
wife. Are they?
Um, I don't think they've been married in the comics for a long time. There was a period in the mid 2000s where they were married, but I think that book was kind of maligned. I've never read that book myself, but I remember hearing that like it wasn't as good as people were hoping it would be, and they annulled the marriage at some point.
All right, whatever. But they're together. They're
Yeah,
dating.
yeah. Oh, they're always together. That's the thing is Black Canary and Green Arrow are a constant will they won't they.
But we both read X Force, and
Oh man, this issue.
it's the end of the brothers kind of fiance. All right,
Yeah, it's
it's the kind of relationship that if one of them said, "Hey, let's go get married," they would immediately go to Vegas and do it.
yeah, definitely. It's very complicated. And have you ever read Green Arrow: The Longbow Hunters? By the way, I don't think
No.
we've ever talked about it. You should read that. That book kind of gets maligned for what it does with Dinah later in the book, but there's some really good stuff early on with their relationship that I think you would find interesting.
But we both read X-Force number 46, Tale of Two Brothers. This is kind of, we're getting to the climax of the Colossus story.
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of just one big psychic battle between the two, with a little bit of interference between the other X-Force characters.
Yeah, but it's ultimately the brother in the final gaslighting moments starts going like, "You need me, Colossus, Colossus, we're brothers." And Colossus is like, "Yeah, we are brothers. That's why I need to kill you."
Yeah, this is kind of rough, especially if you're a big Colossus fan, I think.
Oh, the last moment though is just like, "Hey, we're the X Force and we need to deal with this. I think the first thing you need to deal with is me." It's
Mm-hmm.
like he knows all. He's like, ugh.
Our boy. Look how they massacred our boy.
For like massacred our boy for good though.
Mm-hmm.
Good storytelling. Also,
Yep.
Deadpool shows back up and is in an asshole. Thank you.
Yeah. He's like, hey, it was all part of a storytelling thing. Don't fucking worry.
Yeah, I just got frustrated at that because I like Deadpool, and
Mm-hmm.
he's much nicer character than that. But this is really good.
Yeah. Definitely. If you've not been reading Benjamin Percy's X-Force, what the fuck are you doing?
Uh, Also, real quick, getting pretty good number up there. Like they've been stopping books at like 25, 26 more often than
Mm-hmm.
not. This is at 46. They're
Yeah.
letting books go up in number more now, which is good.
This and Wolverine been going a bit crazy.
Immortal Hulk also got up there in numbers.
That's true, but I think that's more so just because of how well that book did.
Yeah. Um, we both read Batman 139. This
The
is
beginning of the Mind Bomb story arc. New artist, new status quo, and it's the time honored tradition in the modern era of doing a story about Batman trying to finally get rid of the Joker once and for all to show why that's a bad idea.
but this also it doesn't feel like he's trying to get rid of him. It's just more of like, okay, we just got to deal with it. Joker's doing
Yeah.
something. Also,
Joker's been out of prison for a while and he's been up to some fuckboy shit. I'm gonna go put that on lock.
question,
And then Zernaw is like, no, fuck you.
we're gonna fight. Um, Here's the thing. Zdarsky brings up three Jokers. I thought the three Jokers died in the that story, Three Jokers.
So did I. I wonder if there's an ongoing order in DC to disregard a lot of Jeff Johns' stuff. And Zdarsky's going like, well, no, but that was revealed in a continuity thing. We have to deal with that if it's not a
Like,
thing
is Three
anymore.
Jokers that graphic novel no longer canon?
I wonder. I
Because they
I don't
never
know.
mention, because the editor's notes never make reference to that issue, those issues. They only reference the Justice League thing.
Yeah.
And Batman acts as if he hasn't met three Jokers but yet.
Which would be fucking an amazing fuck you to Jeff Johns if that's what they're doing. Because remember, his whole like constant quote he was giving for that book when it was coming out was that he pushed for it really hard because he'd never gotten to do an in continuity Batman story before.
Ah. But overall, I like this. It's fun to see, especially it is Bruce Wayne at his lowest, and you
Hmm.
know that's the point, and it's not just going like, this is how Bruce Wayne should be. It's like, no, this is wrong, and he's dealing with things.
Yeah, he's in his fuckboy era, and he's trying to climb out of it.
Yeah. But it's good. I liked it.
Also, just like some solid narration detective writing in this too.
Yeah. Also, a backup of Vandal Savage.
Yeah, he's kind of doing a similar thing, where we reveal that like his status quo hasn't been totally restored. He's gonna age if he leaves Gotham, but that's all the more reason for him to hang around for a while. And I think I don't know how long Zdarsky. I don't know if Zdarsky has said how long he plans for this run to
The
go.
Joker book is also dealing with the three Jokers thing.
Huh.
So maybe, okay, here's the thing. Remember what happened in Three Jokers? Of the Jokers go like, "Hey, whenever we need a new Joker, we just make one, and that's that version of the Joker." Maybe
Hmm.
the Joker that was survived that book is continuing that idea, and he's made two new Jokers.
Yeah. Or maybe there's a whole bunch of Jokers going around that we don't even know about. Maybe there's actually more than three. But yeah, the Vandal Savage backup really makes me think they are building to Vandal Savage being the big final boss of this run.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, there's going to be a big climactic final arc about Bruce finally confronting and beating him and getting the mansion back.
Yeah.
And also
Um,
maybe Alfred walks out of the Lazarus pit, so 40 somethings everywhere can stop bitching.
they kind of ignore the Three Jokers book. Okay, that yeah.
There you
They're
go.
writing that out of continuity. Um, I do like the conversation between Joker and Zerna. Of just
Yeah.
like, oh, he's not talking to you. It's like, oh God. Oh, it's Bruce Wayne going like, oh shit, I'm not the one he cares about in the relationship. That Batman and Joker have always had that kind of like, Joker's always been like, no,
I don't care that you're Bruce Wayne.
yeah, but like it's Joker going like, I don't care about Robin. All that shit's bullshit. It's me and you. That's what matters, me and you. And now Bruce is going like, oh, he wasn't talking about me. He was talking about Zerna.
Yeah, and remember back in the Suriname backups, there was that whole scene of like when Joker first shows up, um, Gordon tells Batman to leave the kid at home for this one.
Yeah.
I feel like Zdarsky's doing a whole thing of like, yeah, Joker's never cared about Batman. He's always cared about Suriname.
I I like that as a concept, but I don't think it should be like the ultimate thing. I think it should be like, no. Zerna isn't what Zerna is what I that is like you together. That's what I like.
Mm,
Like that's the kind of like because I want it to be Bruce. I like that connection. You know.
fair enough.
Um. What else? Oh yeah, all the multiverse Zernas also show up and go like, "Hey, we're gonna stop you from fighting,
Yep, the
Bruce."
Council of Zerinanas.
And it's just all the adaptations. It's great.
Yep.
Good book. We both read Guardians of the Galaxy #8.
This book is still chugging along and still really good. I don't
Yeah,
really have much new to say about it, honestly.
this
Uh,
feels like an early Krakoa era book of them just going like,
mm,
"Hey, this new status quo is great. We love each other and we're happy and we're trying to do stuff."
but there's something kind of weird and maybe fucked up going on with Mantis. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, but it's good. It's solid.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like, yeah, no, there's just always been like a Groot space of like a giant plant conglomerate thing, and it just ebbs and flows with time and life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just now time for Groot to be that. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I read X-Men Red.
How's that going, bud?
So Apocalypse shows up and goes like, "What the fuck are all y'all doing? Fuck you." This just in the new SAG after deal is good for face actors, but might be an abomination for voice actors because they are the most in opposition to the deal.
Interesting.
Hum.
We'll do some reading up on that. Maybe we'll get back to that next week.
Yeah. But basically Apocalypse shows up on Mars and goes like, fuck all this fighting. My wife's being a bitch. I am not the warmonger I once was. We need to solve this. So he basically gets people together to do a spell, right? And he
Right.
goes like, "Hey, Storm, we need to do a spell." Okay, Apocalypse, what will the spell do? You'll see. You'll see. Um and a bunch of other little things happen. Like Death is teaming up with Storm now. Like he defected from his family. He's working with the Resistance, the good guys. And Apocalypse sees him at the camp and goes like, "Death, You're on this side now. And he's immediately like, yes, father, but I couldn't agree with what mother was doing. And he's like, hey, no, you made the right choice. I'm glad you're learning. Like, good job, son. Like, that was cool. Um, there's a bunch of little moments and things. But basically, Apocalypse creates a spell to imbue Storm with much more power, because he basically goes like, Storm, you already control like most of the elements. So we're just going to give you a little bit more power so you can do this. As we then cut to Genesis having a little meeting, and then the person she's talking to goes like, fuck, I feel something. It's coming. It's big. As we see a giant Krakoa-like monster, an island that walks like a man, coming towards, as Storm is just standing in its eye and goes like, you say you fight for this land? All right, raise it up. Let's have a fight. Basically going like, I can make this island fight for me. Can you do that? Fuck you.
Kaiju battle in the next issue?
Maybe, but I don't think they can have the other side can make a kaiju. But yeah, no, it's great. Apocalypse just shows up and goes like, yeah, no, I'm a good guy. Hi. Yeah, no reason.
Also, classic Krakoa is back. That's kind of
well,
crazy.
it's not named Krakoa, but it is meant to evoke Krakoa. I think it's a Rocco. It's not a Rocco. It's the original name for the island. You know how they were like one island and they got turned into Krakoa and Rocco? The original one name. Yeah, that one. X-Men Red. Good. We both read Shazam #5.
This is a solid little it's not wrap up. It's we're getting close to the end of this arc though.
Yeah. Because they deal with all the space gobbledygook, they save the day there.
Mary comes in, has a cool little save the day moment that can only really work with how her character is right now, and it's the first good thing I've seen be done with that status quo. And there's a great moment where Billy shows up to the Rock of Ages and just go, or the Rock of Eternity, I'm sorry. And just goes to the gods and is like, hey, knock the fuckboy shit off.
And they're just like gods and go like, what? No, fuck you. And he just goes, and Billy just immediately goes like, yeah, well, fine. Then I'm just fucking not gonna be Shazam. Fuck you. And then Freddy goes like, if he's not gonna be Shazam, I will.
Yeah.
The fuck, Freddy?
Which kind of makes total sense for Freddy's character, but also it's like, damn.
Yeah. Also, Mary Marvel figures out what's been going on with Shazam, like almost immediately.
She's the one who figures it out, and it's like, oh yeah, that's why she's not in the book, because Mary's smarter than literally any other member of the Shazam family.
Yeah, good book. It's good.
Yeah.
We both read Transformers #2.
I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
And I've said it in a couple places already. This is the single best piece of Transformers fiction I have seen in a long time.
Don't let the Matumti fans hear you say that.
Fuck the Matumti fans. All right. They can go back to Tumblr and cry about the ultra violence in this. I don't fucking care. It's great.
Is that a thing they've been saying?
I don't know. I haven't seen like Matumti fans specifically, but I have seen some olds going like, "Ooh, Lord, that's a bit more than I'm really okay with in my Transformers." And I'm like, weren't y'all's generation the same one that used to constantly say, why didn't the Decepticons just squish the humans in the G1 cartoon?
Well, now they are.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing that's going on here. And like, I get people initially being a little upset that because like, if you haven't read this is the last comic this week, isn't it?
No, second to last.
Well, fuck it. Pause the episode. Go read the comic if you haven't, because I really think it will benefit going in blind to this one. But I have seen some people getting upset about Optimus stepping on a deer, and I'll admit, initially I was like, "What the fuck?" But as that scene unfolds, it's probably the best characterization we've seen for Optimus Prime in a long ass time,
I
like
think that's
since IDW rebooted.
I think that is the perfect introduction Optimus Prime needed to Earth. Look at this
Yeah.
beauty, look at this wonder, look at how gorgeous it is. Look how easily it can be destroyed.
Yeah. And it allows them to launch into, because this issue is a lot more talking than the first
Mm-hmm.
one. And there's a lot of like just laying it out who these characters are and what the relationships are going to be moving forward. And there's a big point made of like making Optimus and Spike sort of kin like Spirit Brothers, because Spike has all this sort of ennui about his mom being out of the picture and his dad being an alcoholic, and um, Optimus is clearly like it makes perfect sense for Optimus to be this way at this point in the Transformers story. And you don't often see it depicted too much in Transformers media because you always want to have him portrayed as the big central hero dad figure. But realistically, Optimus Prime is a regular ass guy who got given the role of president of his entire planet, and he wanted to be a spiritual leader. He wanted to lead his people to a new age of enlightenment, and instead his best fucking friend stabbed him in the back, and he had to spend thousands of years being a military leader, and it's clearly worn him down inside. And um him and Spike are kind of similarly bonding in this issue over the fact that like they both desperately wish the universe was a lot more fair than it is, and are just like having to deal with the fact that each other exists and what that means for their two races going forward. And then at the same time, you just have Cliffjumper and Carly sassing the shit out of each other, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Like it doesn't dwell on the hopelessness and the like all that like it doesn't dwell on those heavy emotions super ton, you know?
Hmm.
And Daniel Warren Johnson knows how to play with hype moments and like yeah, fuck yeah things and intense
Yeah.
moments like that.
Like,
Do a
as the
power
cover
bomb.
suggests, you have a whole ass sequence of Starscream just fucking up military jets, and it's awesome.
As one dude like is sees one of his friends gets fucking squished as he unleashes a jetpack and you see his name tag
A familiar ass jetpack. That's a really good little moment of connectivity. I like that a lot better than really anything we've seen up to this point.
in Void
Doesn't quite
Rivals.
jive with the backup preview that's at the end of this issue, but it is still great, and I like that backup preview
You know
too.
what I could see? I could see it working of like, oh, he gets back after this moment and he's like, fuck this military, fuck all this bullshit. My friend died and there's giant robots. What the fuck are we doing?
Hmm.
And that's when he
And
starts
then
becoming
General Hawk steps in and goes like, "Hey, want to go fight some terrorists?"
yeah.
uh, but yeah, no, it's great. The reveal at the end is a really good gut punch. And I generally like the portrayal of everyone that's going on here. I know
Mhm.
there are some people who are probably upset about how like cruel and just outright evil these Decepticons are, because this like people forget there was a whole ass universe in between the famous IDW thing and this, where it wasn't so much as like emotionally driven as the IDW stuff everybody knows was.
Mhm.
But IDW left such an impact of like the gray zones that can happen in Transformers, and like Decepticons can become good guys and redeem themselves, that I know there's people who are probably very resistant towards the idea of the Decepticons just outright being evil and just squishing humans for fun in this.
If
But
any
it
Decepticon would squish a human for fun, it's fucking Starscream.
yeah, and it works in this.
Yeah.
It works for this story, and it allows for the stakes to just be ramped up that much more. And I mean, like, don't forget, this isn't a totally joyless comic. There's still the dialogue between Cliffjumper and Carly,
Mhm.
which, oh man, I want to see those two have like a long running thing, and eventually like become a team taking down Decepticons together. I think that could be wonderful. Um, and there's again just the way Daniel Warren Johnson draws transformations. I absolutely love. There's one panel when they find out about the attack at the oil rig. I think it's an oil rig, or like a refinery or something like that. Um, where Optimus is like, okay, let's go mid transformation. And the way he's drawn transforming, Daniel Warren Johnson like grabbed one of his 26 Optimus Primes, pulled out the instructions, took it to the literal halfway point of its transformation, and then just sat it down there and drew it exactly as it was.
Yeah. Transformers good.
Transformers fucking great.
Let's see what woodland creature Optimus Prime kills next time. I read Gods by Jonathan Hickman, #2.
Tell us all about it, Papa Boingo.
Okay, we're still in world building point, right? So we get introduced to this new character. Basically she's studying hard at university, she's trying to do all the things. And the science girlfriend of the magic guy meets her and she goes like, "Hey, you're doing a lot of things. I feel something weird coming off of you. Hey, look at this bookshelf." And she goes like, "Yeah, there's a book right there." It's like, "Yeah, touch it." And they get transported to this big fucking It is Jonathan Hickman doing Jonathan Hickman world building, and if you're not into Jonathan Hickman world building, boing, you're gonna bounce.
Jonathan Hickman is such a weird thing for me because I really do like it when he's just doing character writing, done in one adventure type stuff. But man, when he gets into his really heady character stuff, it's so much more palatable to just have it explained to me.
Yeah, but like she finds this book, and basically the science woman says like, "Yeah, no, you have a lot of access to magic and all this kind of stuff. I can't see the book. Only certain talented people can. And basically you have access to this infinite library. Welcome to this new magical world you're in." That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there's other bits and bobs, like the science people are going like, "We need more science people." Da, 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 da. And she makes a smart ass comment of like, "Well, can he really be a god if he needs our help?" And then the god possesses her boss and goes like, get fucking people. Fuck you." And her boss out of the possession goes like, "Did you really need to do that?" And she goes like, "Yeah, I just need to make sure he's hearing us. I need sometimes I want proof of our god existing every once in a while. I'm sorry." you know Meanwhile, the magic people are like trying to find a magic dude, and he goes like, "I was in a box. I want the box." And they go like, "All right, fucking go find your box." They go see the box he's in, and it's a box made by the Betweener. The guy who's like half black, half white, big cosmic character.
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah, it's just a box, and it's like, oh, it's kind of fucked because like he has it's like it's weird addiction-y kind of metaphor thing, and they just lose him in the box, and it's just like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Damn.
It's a lot of world building, it's a lot of things like that. It's this issue also felt more of like trying to connect these things a little bit more to the greater Marvel universe to an extent.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like saying like this was always here, but it's just more like this thing's here over here, and it kind of relates. I'm enjoying Gods, but it's weird. It's hard to explain.
Do you think it will make for a good back issues?
If Tiffany does it, yes. If Sal does it, I would be very, very annoyed. You're forgetting this, Sal. You're forgetting this. Why are you downplaying that? Why are you just calling Vision a robot? He is a cool character. That's I think I don't like. It's just treating Vision like a prop. But that's it for all the comics we read. Did you enjoy comics this week?
I really enjoyed comics this week. There were fucking. Man, I'm gonna be thinking about that Transformers issue for weeks to come.
Yeah, Aki said, "Where is Sysformers? Optimus Prime is right there."
Yeah,
Optimus Prime is the ultimate cis ally man who who doesn't understand completely what's going on, but will never misgender you, will never not use your right pronouns, will always use the right name, never dead name someone.
Yeah. And I mean, don't forget, somebody has paid on Cameo for both Peter Cullen and Gary Chalk to say trans rights.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so it's good times.
But that's it for this podcast, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your time. I hope you enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, Vac?
Yes, that's a word.
Yes is a word, but did you enjoy it? That's not answering the question.
Man, this is the latest we've fucking gone in a while. I'm actually kind of tired.
All right, then tell the people where they can find you.
Hey everybody, I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos. They're things. I did a video on Kamen Rider Kuga yesterday. You can go check that out if you want at the Vacuuminator here on YouTube. I also do toy photography when my desk isn't a fucking sea of plastic. I gotta mitigate the plastic sea before I can do more at the moment. But you know, we got stuff coming. We got stuff cooking. I'm also on Blue Sky, and Tumblr. Links in the description, or you know, you're a smart kid. You got Google. Figure it out.
Yeah. Hey, you can find me on a variety of places. Twitch.tv/Boingo Writer. I'm on YouTube at Boingo Writer. I'm on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Boingo_Writer. I am also at Mastodon Boingo_Writer. I actually Blue Sky is not Boingo_Writer, it's just Boingo Writer. I made a mistake. I'm on Tumblr. Link is in the description. I make a variety of content. I stream. I do a lot of things. Hey, this is the No Price Podcast. It's our comic podcast, but we also have other ones, such as Components, which is just our hangout, shit around, talk, Discord, midnight call podcast. We also have Analytical Fanboys, a monthly media cast where one member picks a piece of media, and then we have a discussion about it. What is next month's? What is the next episode about? Back.
Well, boys and girls, it's my month to pick, and I mean, this was always going to happen. It was just a matter of time. I'm talking about Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. But we also have other podcasts such as Twit or This Week in Toku, where Vac and Buster talk about The Week in Toku. Kind of a self-explanatory. We also have Saturday Morning Panels, a G.I. Joe Transformers podcast, where they talk about the news of the month, the toys they got, and one issue of each comic for every month in order as time progresses. You know, that kind of like retrospective of like, here's what happened 30 years ago kind of thing. But yeah, that's all the podcasts we have on this fair channel called Modular Media. If you would like to see those and support us, please leave a like, please leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Do all the things. Help us out. Spread the word. Tell people you would think would enjoy these podcasts, would enjoy these two faces.
Algorithms.
Hey.
Al Gore's rhythm.
Hey, Back, do you have anything else you would like to say?
I'm tired, my makeup's melting, and it hurts my eyes.
Enough said.